ExtremeHealthRadio.com.
Hey, this is Mark Sisson from marksdailyapple.com. And if you want some of the most cutting edge and empowering health information online, go where I go, to Justin and Kate at extremehealthradio.com.
Spring has sprung, baby Kate.
I think summer has sprung.
It's been summer all winter. Who am I kidding?
Here in Southern California, this is the truth.
Yeah, it's...
Spring is definitely here, isn't it?
Yes, we are excited to be here today.
We are. We haven't had a free-for-all in how long?
Ages and ages and ages.
Well, that's a long time.
A long time.
No, really, how long you think? Like,
it's probably been a couple months, hasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like it.
Yeah, we've been doing shows. Let's see, you know what? I could actually take a look at the website.
Yes, imagine that.
Imagine that. I should probably do that. Yeah, it's been a long time. So what's the date today for reference?
Today is March 27th, 2015.
March 27th, 2015. You know, I'm going to look really quick.
Okay.
Free for All Friday
I'm
shows.
just curious.
It looks like our last one... Was that right? January 23rd?
That probably is right, yeah.
No.
Yes.
Really?
No. Yeah, I do. I think so.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
So this is episode 369. Is that correct? Yep.
You're right.
369. Wow, this is just, I feel like a new person. I haven't done this in forever.
So it's been over 2 months. You're right. Holy moly.
That doesn't seem right, though, does it?
I thought it was maybe about 6 weeks, but no, it's been a while.
Yeah, we're excited. We got so much to get to. We have tons of emails and different things to talk about. We're a lot going on in our lives, so a lot of good stuff to talk about. But I just feel so strange having not done a Free For All Friday in so long. It's so
I
weird.
feel like I'm kind of waiting for the guest on the other end of the phone that's not there to start talking right now.
I know, right?
And it's just you and me, so it's kind of odd. It's just weird.
So tell the people, the good people that listen to the show, how your journey's been lately.
Oh.
We were talking about it before the show.
Well, I blogged about it last night as well, and I don't think that one's going to be released today, I believe, right?
It will, yeah. We came to a pretty big discovery recently.
We did come to a big discovery. So I think I got a case of the Mercury Poisoning.
Case of the Mondays.
What is that from?
That's from Office Space.
That's right. Well, what is that from? Yeah, it's very odd to me because my health challenges, anyone who's listened to this for any amount of time, probably the last year or two, probably remembers me just going up and down talking about how I feel great, I don't feel great, I think it's this, I think it's that. But I think in the past week, I can't conclusively say that it's mercury poisoning, but I'm starting to lean toward really believing that I have a lot of mercury issues going on in my body to cause me all these weird kind of symptom.
Yeah, it was weird that we, I don't know what happened. We're on a walk and somehow we got to talking about heavy metals and things like that. And then I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to write an article about that. And when I was doing research on the article, I came across the Dr. McCullough article, and I decided to send it to you, and it was like everything just clicked. Well,
it was strange because before that, we were at Dr. Bergman's that day, and we met our really great new friend and listener, Lori, who came down from Northern California. She and her husband, Rick. And she had mentioned, we were talking just about some health challenges, and she mentioned having this mercury thing, and it just kind of reminded me that could be something going on. And then when we came back, you had that discovery, and it all kind of just went from there, rolled, the ball got rolling. But I find the weirdest part of it was that the Dr. McCullough article was interesting. I haven't read it all yet, but I've been delving back into Allison Adams' book, The Natural Recovery Plan. And that was the first book I actually thought about, this could be what's going on with me. And I read it over a year ago. I think way over a year ago now. And I remember finishing the book thinking, oh my gosh, this is so what's going on with me. And then I never did anything about it. It's almost like I was in a fog. I read all this stuff in her book about mercury. It might be the book up until this point that I've read the most about mercury, and to know that, and then to be feeling when I finished the book, like at a place where I was already healing, I thought, oh, it's probably not as bad as I think, or mercury might play a small level. to some extent, but I actually think it might be the driving force of all these weird symptoms I've had. Because, I mean, mercury poisoning, what I'm reading is just throws off everything.
Yeah.
Digestive, I mean, the pancreatic issues I've been having, the liver stuff, the reproductive stuff, the pain in the kidneys. I mean, it really gets into your system and does no good for anybody. And
so for people that haven't heard, why or how that you
why I'm
like
figuring
this
this.
all happened.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, I bet it was about 10 years ago, you were getting into health. You'd already been into health for a little while, but you said, I remember one day you were talking about how important it was to have the mercury filling amalgams taken out of our mouth. And at that time, we unfortunately didn't know that there was a right and a wrong way to do it. And so, I remember you being all adamant about, we should just get them out. We should get them out. And so we couldn't really afford much. So I ended up being referred to a dentist over the border in Tijuana, who was a really nice guy, a great dentist. But I actually had my amalgams taken out across the border, and there was no use of like a rubber dam or anything that Dr. Nunley does when he extracted yours out of your mouth. Mm-hmm. So I think I was exposed. I mean, I remember sitting in that chair.
I feel bad because I feel like some of this is my fault.
That's not your fault. We didn't know. When you know better, you do better.
That's right.
Thank you, Oprah. No, it's not your fault, but it's a bummer. But I remember sitting in that chair and him chiseling, like drilling out those mercury pieces. Really? And I remember tasting metal in my mouth. I remember swallowing, like he'd spray like water, the little spray thing they do, and then suck stuff out. I remember all that and smelling metal.
Really?
I mean, I remember the whole thing, and I remember I didn't think it was so bad, but I knew it wasn't good.
Mm-hmm. So this happened, I think it was probably like 2002.
Probably 2000. No. Like 10 years ago.
2005?
I think so.
After we're married?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
So, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And there was 2 of them that I had taken out.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a lot. I was reading in this book here, The Natural Recovery Plan, about even one micron of mercury is too much. 1 molecule of mercury is too much.
Well, Dr. Nunley, or not Dr. Nunley, Dr. Hal Huggins says 1 atom.
1 atom.
He's the famous biological dentist that sort of brought biological dentistry into the forefront, into the forefront of dentists out there in the world. And he said 1 atom.
1 atom.
Much. Yeah.
She references Dr. Hal Huggins a lot, as most people do, because he's the forefather or the front runner in a lot of this stuff. But yeah, I think that's what I've got going on, and I definitely can tell you I have more than 1 atom. So if 1 atom's enough to make somebody sick, unfortunately, if I was exposed to 2 completely filled teeth, if that all, I mean, they were big fillings too.
Well, this is something we talked about the other day too. Is I'm not sure which doctor told you this, but isn't there a type of situation where the mercury doesn't really set? Because wasn't I asking you about if it's completely solidified? Yeah. And I think it does get a little bit softer with eating warm foods and things.
Yeah, it can leach. I wish I had that part. I had this book right here, but I don't know where it is. But she does talk about how, Allison does in her book, about how it never really sets. It continues to stay in a liquid state, even though it looks like it's firm.
Okay.
And set, there's something about it that when it's mixed with when the mercury is mixed with another metal binder, it creates this chemical, a new chemical basically, and a new compound, and then they put that in there. But yeah, it's always in a liquid form. So that's why I think that, it can leach when it's like,
well, the thing too,
exposed to hot things
is they have, usually when they do a mercury filling, it's mercury, tin, and lead, or is there lead in there too? It's usually 3 substances, the majority of which is mercury, but then you're mixing 3 metals, and God only knows what if that's worse or whatever. But I don't know. I just feel really blessed because I hated seeing you so sick and so down about how your organs feel and your stomach feels, and so I feel like we can't, really did a 180 in terms of discovery.
Yeah.
For your health,
Because I took a dive again. I was feeling really, really great, pretty much great the last year. And then just in the last week, this is what set me off. This is so frustrating, but I was feeling, I've been struggling again for a few months, and that's why I just embarked on a 21-day juice and bone broth fast, and that doesn't work out very well for me. And maybe I'll talk more about that on this show.
Yeah.
But, then I just kind of spiraled down, and I was like, what's going on? So I I still felt like I could eat more food than I've been able to in a while, but I kind of, quote, cheated and ate some foods that had a little sulfur in them. And I think it just sent me into a tailspin.
It's so crazy. Oh
my gosh.
Some people cheat with ding dongs and Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
I know.
What did you cheat with?
Okay. I had,
This is hilarious.
This is what I added. This is what I added back in that I hadn't eaten in a long time.
Here's you cheating on your diet.
I ate about 5 organic dates.
No.
I did. I ate 5 organic dates. I ate salmon, wild caught salmon, 2 nights in a row.
You shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have cheated.
That I had made a sauce for with herbs, like organic fresh herbs that
you can't
had
go eating herbs.
thyme and oregano. And here's the kicker. I had a little tiny bit of green onion put into the sauce, and I hadn't had onions in over a year.
Everybody knows onions are people's hardest food to stay away from.
The arch nemesis. They're my kryptonite.
That's crazy.
So I had that, and then I also had pineapple.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I know that's a slight food that it's the food that's slightly high in thiols. It's not too bad. But I was eating pineapple there for like a week every morning for breakfast, loving my life. And I think this over a week period, whatever I had added back in, something within that realm was not working for me.
For some people that don't know that word you just said, thiols is THIOLS.
Yes. And that is foods that are...
Do a Google search, foods high in thiols, and you'll see a lot of what people
goes along with the sulfur issues and the methylation issues I think I have. So, and methylation and all that, I mean, I'm reading this book again. I've read it like 3 times, but it all ties into this mercury thing.
What's the name of that book?
The Natural Recovery Plan.
Okay.
Chronic Fatigue, ME, and Fibromyalgia by Dr. Allison Adams.
Okay, we'll put a link to that.
It's great.
At extremehealthradio.com/368. Oh, really quickly, I want to get to a couple things here. We'll get back to this too, but
yeah, I want to bring up a couple things too.
If you guys want, we have a great audio program that we put together, and it's available. I know a lot of you guys listen on your iPods and iPads and things like that. So if you want to,
Pods,
yeah. If you want to get access to that, along with a really great book that we have called Lessons from the Miracle Doctors, you can get all that for free. I'll send it to you if you text the word "get healthy," all one word, "get healthy," to 33444. And once you confirm your email address, I'll send both those out to you. But those are really cool things to have, because they're really great. You can read them on your Kindle and your iPad and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's really about the audio program is a story about how I overcame my food cravings, and I did it with a kind of a unique approach. So
yeah,
it's kind
you
of
really
cool.
did too.
Yeah.
This is the guy sitting over there that I got him, 27 giant chocolate chip cookies for your 27th birthday, and you pounded them in like an afternoon.
Oh, just almost all before bed. I loved...
Did you really eat them before bed?
Well, you got them for me in the afternoon, and by the time I went to bed, they were all gone.
27 cookies. Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, look, we both changed a lot.
Step aside, Kobayashi.
Easier. For those who don't know who Kobayashi is, was he the world's
hot dog eating contest
contest champion? There you go.
I feel like I should be in Stand By Me with the pie eating contest.
Oh, that's just disgusting. Oh, so disgusting.
Oh my goodness. I also want to let you guys know too about a cancer summit that's going on by a good friend of ours, Ty Bollinger, and he's really kind of doing things on another level, because a lot of people are doing summits, and summits are amazing. We promote lots of good ones, not all of them, but lots of good ones. But typically summits happen in their audio downloads. But Ty's going around the country and doing video interviews with people. And we saw him last year when he was in town. He was on his way from San Diego to LA, and we stopped and had a green juice with him. And he was telling us all about this, how his summit was going then. Mm-hmm. But it's called The Truth About Cancer, the Quest for the Cures Summit. And it's awesome. It's just really awesome. So if you want to go there, if you go to extremehealthradio.com/truthaboutcancer, all one word, no spaces or dashes or anything, extremehealthradio.com/truthaboutcancer, you'll see that'll redirect you, and you'll be able to register and get access to the whole thing for free, which is cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you can get, send that link on to your family and friends too, and have them register so they can watch the whole thing.
How long of a series is it? Like, how many hours is it total? Do you know?
I don't know. We have the DVDs from last year's one, and it's like 11 DVDs, and I think there's multiple interviews on each DVD. I mean, it just comes with everything.
I know. It seems so extensive. That's the most extensive program, if you want to call it a program, I guess, that I've ever come across.
Yeah.
On a subject like cancer.
Oh, it's amazing. It's really cool. And I want to thank Anastasia Tanner for donating $10 to us. We really appreciate that. She did that through PayPal, and we appreciate that a lot. That's so cool.
Thank you.
My goodness. And I want to let you guys know too, thank you, Anastasia. That really helps us a lot. We have a new program called Patreon that is available for people if you want to donate to us. And what's cool about Patreon is that you can donate on a per podcast basis, because we put, I don't even know how many hours of work into each show, 8-10 hours of work and post-production and editing and coming up with all the YouTube videos for it. That's just a lot of work. So, excuse me, if you wanted to send a little bit of money for us to be able to keep doing this, you can donate on a per podcast basis. And you can even donate less than $1. So
what's the minimum?
1 cent.
Is it really?
Yeah, you can donate a cent.
Wow.
You can donate 4 cents per month.
We would take it.
We would take it. If all of you guys did that, it would help a lot. So if you go to extremehealthradio.com/support, or on the right of our website, you'll see a link, picture of Kate.
It's me?
It's you. And you can see it right there, and then that'll click you over to Patreon, and then you can sign up for a Patreon account. And here's the cool thing, is that I like
Patreon.
It's awesome, cool. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, for people that create content like this, it's so helpful. I think it's going to be the new wave of how people put alternative news out there and alternative information about different subjects. It's just awesome.
Yeah.
And you can support people on a per podcast basis. So
I love that like artists and things are doing it, like recording artists and stuff. They're creating songs that are just not on a label, and they're getting supported for their work. I mean, I think it's beautiful. I think that whole concept is awesome.
I mean, even people are doing it with art, like traditional, just regular art. Anything.
Are they really?
Articles. People do it for articles, radio shows, podcasts, music videos, songs. It's really cool.
I love the way things are going.
Yeah,
I do. And I know this is a little off topic, but I was poking around Etsy the other day. I just love that people are able to have these stores and put their work out there, and
isn't it cool?
All around the world, and just this what didn't exist 10 years. I mean, it's just the coolest time to be alive.
It's awesome.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. But the issue is trying to encourage listeners and people that consume the information that, it does take a lot of time to produce it, and a lot of work and effort goes into it. So if you would like to support us, we'd be greatly appreciative of that. And it connects right up with your Facebook account. So if you're logged into Facebook, you can just sign up immediately it'll take you 2 seconds to donate, $1 or $2. Some people donate 15 or 20 bucks. Some people donate $100 to people, and you can do that on a per podcast basis. And so, if the creator of the content creates more content than what would normally be the average monthly amount, you can set a cap. So if, let's say, you were a starving college student and all you had was $4 a month, and you donated $1 per podcast, and we do 1 podcast per week, you can make sure the cap does not go over 4.
So there's just a little drop down box, right? And you can just put your cap limit.
Yeah, put your cap limit, and then
awesome.
If we create 10 podcasts in a month, you'll still only donate 4.
That's cool.
So that's really cool.
That is cool, because I do think that would be a question that I would have too. What if all of a sudden these people start cranking out like 50 podcasts?
I know, right?
Trying to get a buck each,
So we've got about 16 people: Lee Wen Chen, Nicholas Becker, Kent Miller, Jenny Brown, Francis Rios, Kirsty Hogg, Tana, Cherie Baum, Brian Cunningham, Megan Gutierrez, Patrick Metzger, Christy Crandall, Marin Kolka, Robin White, Ildiko Oraves. I know her from Hungary from back in the day.
Oh, yeah, that's Ildi, right?
That's Ildi. Flavia Dopen-Schmidt from Brazil.
Wow.
So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, that's super cool.
That's huge. That is huge to us.
Yeah.
So how many people do we have on there so far?
16.
Okay.
So, and some of our goals, we've got some really massive goals too. We want to get our own studio in town and eventually move to video podcasts.
We really need we need a space outside of our home where we live in this little place, and I'm content, and it's just little, but I thought, gosh, like it's so funny having to find like new corners to do videos in or make it look different because our house is so big,
I know,
it's
right?
like, I can't wait to have a studio. And we really, really view that happening hopefully this year if people jump on board and rally around us.
And if we do that, we'll be able to get more guests in studio as well. So that'll be fun.
That's such a big dream. I just think that'd be so fun.
Yeah.
We'd be able to have like many more microphones and do, I really look forward to filming, like doing the live streaming videos.
I do too.
Joe Rogan style.
That would be awesome.
Oh gosh, that's a dream.
And we want to be able to hire some help. And so that costs money. We want to do that. And then we want to open a wellness center one day. So these are all things that we could really use your help with. So, we've got big dreams and big ways that we want to help everybody else and get the message out further and create training programs and do in-person stuff and courses and all kinds of stuff. But we
cannot do it by ourselves.
Yes, definitely.
If you guys can back us, that would be amazing.
So that would be awesome. So
I like the Patreon thing though. I think it's cool.
I know it's cool,
It's really cool.
Yeah, totally. It's awesome.
And by the way, did you mention? I was in the chat room. Did you mention that people can go through their Facebook and things that are easy?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So if a lot of times I know what it's like. You go on to something like Patreon and think, I don't want to create an account. But if you're logged into Facebook, you can log in to Patreon via Facebook, and it's just automatically done for you.
Everything's so connected now.
That's super cool.
It's like I go to the grocery store and it's like, would you like to pay through Facebook or chat roll? Or it's
like hello,
everything's
Kate Spellman.
I know.
What would you like? Do you want garlic again?
I want to buy some blueberries.
It
is funny though when you try to buy something like Etsy, it says, do you want to sign in using your Facebook? Do you want to sign in using your Instagram? Do you want to sign in using your Pinterest? Like, I'm like, what is all this stuff?
Yeah,
it's the coolest time to be alive and the craziest time to be alive.
Yeah, it's creepy kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go back to what you're talking about with the heavy metal and the mercury. You're going to read something from Allison Adams' book, I think, some symptoms people had or whatever.
Yeah, this is really cool because a lot of people don't. Actually, our very knowledgeable guest in the chat room, thank you for mentioning. I'm not even sure of your name, but I'm going back and forth with them about their mercury issues as well.
And
we got a lot out of the show with Dr. Gary Gordon that I'm embarrassed to say I have not heard yet because I was on my retreat.
Oh, by the way, that brings up a listener question.
Oh yeah, please.
Let's do this because it's really appropriate, and we've gotten a lot of questions. This exact same question.
Okay.
So Alan he writes in and says, "Hey Justin, on your episode 364 with Gary Gordon. By the way, if you haven't heard that episode yet, I would highly recommend listening to that because he talked a lot about chelation, magnesium, anti-aging, all kinds
Apparently, and I feel stupid.
Yeah. Kate, get on it.
God. Yeah, with all my spare time, but that's okay.
I know, right?
While my liver's falling out, I'll get right on that.
He talked about magnesium oil, and he said that he said he produced amazing results. So he said, I listened to the podcast several times and also went to his website trying to find where I could purchase it, but came up empty. Do you have any idea where I can purchase it? And the short answer is no, I don't. I would recommend going to gordonresearch.com like you said you did, but writing them an email and asking them where you can buy it. I know that he's got a few different websites. Maybe I linked up. Usually I try to link to all the guest websites on the show page. So go to extremehealthradio.com/368 and see on the show notes down below if I linked up to his other websites because I know he's got a few. But I would recommend just calling him because he's got some pretty advanced magnesium oil that apparently works really well, and I like to try it too. So, but anyway, so that's the. I don't know why I got. No,
that's good because it's Evan, our friend in the chat room.
Oh, cool.
I like so much better than just having a number. It feels so impersonal.
6671 doesn't do it.
So our friend Evan, but we were talking back and forth about how. The mercury blocks the ability to absorb the minerals, so Evan's remineralizing a lot by way of the multi-green kombucha, which has chlorella, spirulina, blue-green algae. They're all in that, and that's interesting because I've added a lot of those in this week as well for myself.
Those are good.
Not in the kombucha form, but in as far as trying to chelate some.
But we do drink that.
We do drink it, and I do love it. It's good to know that you're not alone, though. Like Evan was saying that. What was it? I was allergic to everything I ate, and now I can eat pretty much anything, just chooses to stick to bone broth, and that's salad, soup, and coconut yogurt. I find that interesting. Like that's the point I want to get to where I can eat anything. That's the picture of health to me, but I choose to eat a certain way because it might make me feel better or not.
Yeah, it's funny because we're talking about this the other day that you just sort of want to get on top of your health issues and Because, for us right now, for me mainly, I mean, a lot of people think we have a show called Extreme Health Radio and we do all these things, but I don't really focus or think a lot. If I feel good in a certain day, if I'm having digestive issues or if I'm having some sort of, immediate health thing like a flu or cold or something, which I don't normally get. But if I feel generally good, I don't think about health at all. And I think that's where we want to get to.
I think you're right.
Like a kid, a 6-year-old kid's not thinking about their health.
No, they're living their life. You're right. They're going and playing and it just,
jumping off rocks, climbing trees.
Truly. And that's what I want to get back to too, because I've just been so focused. When you don't feel well, you focus all your, and then you got to be careful where you focus all your attention too, because then you can kind of downward spiral just the emotional side of not feeling well. But
completely.
Yeah, but I found it to be interesting. I won't dwell on this much more, but I'm going to keep journaling about or blogging about it as well, because I think it's a really important thing. But the symptoms of mercury toxicity, in her book, she gives a questionnaire, and there's like 1 through 96 questions. And you can put a yes or no, check the box, and then you can interpret the results. So if you have a certain number, it shows that you're either likely to have a degree of mercury toxicity, you have some, you have mild, you have moderate, severe, or mercury poisoning.
Okay.
And I was severe to poisoning, and
Really?
that's how many boxes I had checked off.
Well, you've done a couple workups with Dr. Massey.
I have, yes.
With the blood test, and
it did show very high levels of it didn't say what, but metals around the ring of dried and live blood cell analysis. When we were able to go to Texas and spend some time with him, and both the dried I had done 8 months prior to seeing him, and then the live we did with him, they both had the heavy ring around the edge that shows that it's a metal problem.
Okay.
But here's just stuff it can affect, and I'm not going to read all under everything, but these are just the ideas. It can affect your central nervous system. Look, I can't even say that. It affected me. Anxiety, apathy, brain fog, depression, poor memory, poor concentration, inability to make decisions, loss of intelligence, anger, rage, inappropriate emotional responses, addictions, obsessive compulsive. It just goes on and on and on. And then there's peripheral nervous system, which is like tingling, numbness, twitching of face or other muscles.
Like a neuropathy kind of.
Neuropathy. Gastrointestinal system, that just is the whole thing in itself. Poor digestion, ulcers, constipation, diarrhea, poor appetite, excessive thirst, just ridiculous. The endocrine system, that whole deal, the immune system, the lymphatic system, cardiovascular system, respiratory, the skin, ear, nose, and throat, eyes, reproductive system. This is key for me.
Everything
Uterine
in the
fibroids,
human body.
Everything in the human body.
Uterine fibroids, you just said.
All this stuff with, women's stuff. Yeah, so everything.
There's nothing it doesn't affect.
No.
Really.
It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, I have, but I think what I took away from reading this book again with the central nervous system stuff, I'm like, I know I've mentioned it on the show and people probably recognize it too. I kind of like lose my ability to communicate at times. And I kind of like fog out and lose my train really easy. And I've always felt like there's this sort of fog.
Really?
I've always felt like that for a long time.
Well, that could be also Candida as well. Candida does that too. But yeah, that's crazy.
Don't you love it? Okay, and the last thing I'll talk about that I thought was interesting about this was when you have high mercury toxic load when you're trying to get pregnant or become pregnant. It's no bueno.
Really?
No.
What is it? What is it?
Check this out. It says, I'm trying to find this one. A woman is thought to pass up to 2/3 of this load of all this toxin to her unborn child. Part of the mechanism is that methylmercury is able to cross the placental barrier and binds to the developing fetus's blood more tightly than to the mother's blood. The fetus has no independent means of excretion until it is born, so typically the baby has 2 to 3 times the mercury levels of the mother.
Whoa. Well, they say that there's over 200 toxic chemicals in the average newborn baby's umbilical cord.
Exactly. I think there's 287 circulating toxins at birth, and one study found that an analysis of the levels of just 5 toxic metals predicted learning disabilities with almost total accuracy, if you can believe that.
People, we need to start doing some cleansing. Before we start trying to conceive.
Before we reproduce.
Yeah.
Well, you and I were talking about that. It's funny. We haven't had children on purpose. Like, we've never tried to have kids. It's not like we've had fertility problems, thank God.
Yeah.
We don't know if we will. I'm thinking we won't because I've had pretty normal cycles and you're pretty healthy and stuff. But
we're good.
We're good.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we waited for a long time and then thinking now feels about right in the last couple of years, but I'm really glad that we haven't leapt yet, because if there's no, I can't say whether or not we would have had a kid with some problems or challenges or whatever, but if I can get more mercury and more metal obviously out of my body before, it's just the smart way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, too. And also, like, you have a really sort of massive recipe for problems with all those years at the hair salon.
Oh my gosh. Compounded with all the chemicals.
Not only do you have the mercury, the flu shots, the vaccines growing up, but you had, 16 years in the hair salon breathing in these things. And a lot of people are wondering, I'm putting together an article about heavy metals. And here's some of the ways that we get exposed to heavy metals.
Cool.
Food, obviously, with genetically modified food, non-organic. Air pollution, possibly chemtrails, I don't know, but exhaust from cars and trains and things, and even airplane and car tire dust coming off freeways. Vaccines, obviously, flu shots, obviously, mercury fillings, obviously. But things that other people don't think about is like old paint in your house, fire retardant mattresses and beds. Same thing goes with carpeting. You're getting all kinds of heavy metals coming, outgassing from the carpeting. Pesticides and herbicides, either sprayed on your food or sprayed in areas where you live. Canned foods, obviously, because a lot of the canned foods now are starting to put BPA-free liners on the inside.
Yeah, thank God.
Tap water.
Tap water, really?
Yeah, heavy metals, all kinds of tap water.
What kind of metal? All kinds of metals?
Yeah, there's I know there's chlorine, chloramine. There's all kinds of other heavy metals too in tap water. Beauty products, plastics. It's something people don't think about, receipts. We were just learning a lot about this recently, that those receipts that you get from the grocery store or somewhere else.
They're hormone disruptors. It's all estrogen forming.
Yeah, that's really, really toxic stuff. And when you put it, and you get that ink that sort of smears on your fingertips. And the last one is tattoos. We've been learning a lot about that.
We have. I know I keep referencing this book, but there's a tattoo section in here. It's not very long, but it was just interesting. I wonder if I can find it. Sorry if I can't.
That's all good.
But I think the tattoos, there's always a carrier for it to be able to stay in your body and not move around really within your skin.
Right.
There's like a metal carrier, and usually, and there are organic. I'm realizing organic or vegetable based tattoos, but most things are not. And you just think, oh my gosh, all these people that have these weird. I was reading online and coming across a lot of forums and things
about
tattoos where people didn't have any of these strange symptoms. And then they got tattoos and they haven't felt good since, or they got diagnosed with all this strange stuff. I mean, it's real. There's some real stuff going on.
Natural News. Until you find that, I'll read this a little bit from Natural News.
Please.
Many tattoo inks contain dangerous heavy metals, phthalates, and hydrocarbons. So dangerous heavy metals found in tattoo ink. Many tattoos inks contain heavy metals that have been linked to a large number of health problems, including cancer and neurodegenerative disease.
Gosh.
Among the most concerning metals found in tattoos are mercury, lead, antimony, beryllium, cadmium, and arsenic. So mercury is a neurotoxin. It has detrimental effects on the nervous system. It can cause the brain and lead to physical and emotional disorders. Lead interferes with a variety of body processes and is toxic to many of the body's organs and tissues, including heart, bones, intestine, kidney, nervous system, reproductive systems. In severe cases, lead poisoning symptoms can include seizures, coma, and death.
Gosh.
Lead, thank you very much, lead. Other symptoms commonly associated with lead include abdominal pain, confusion, headache, anemia, and irritability. Beryllium is listed as a Class A EPA carcinogen. Exposure can cause chronic beryllium disease and often fatal lung disease. So cadmium.
What? Really?
Yeah, cadmium is a heavy metal that poses severe risks to human health, including kidney, bone, and pulmonary damage. Arsenic is a known carcinogen, and new studies have also found that exposure to higher levels of arsenic lead to genetic damage. Maybe there's something with Down syndrome kids or genetic things like that with arsenic. And lastly, antimony exposure can cause irritation to the eyes, skin, and lungs. As the exposure continues, more serious problems may occur, such as lung diseases, heart problems, diarrhea, severe vomiting, and stomach ulcers.
This is from Natural News?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, take that with a grain of salt. If you believe it, something to think about. If not, you don't have to believe it.
No.
But
I don't know what to believe, but I just feel like if I'm so sad because I love the way tattoos look. I've always wanted a little tiny one on my foot, something real delicate and cute. But not considering the toxic load I'm already carrying at this point, that would just be the most ridiculous thing. But
I wanted to tattoo my face.
No,
a whole Mike Tyson tattoo.
That's another story.
That'd be fun.
You know me and Mike Tyson. Wasn't it Mike Tyson?
That's right. He doesn't want any piece of you.
He didn't.
He wants no part of you.
I did run into him physically with my body, and that was very scary. Yeah. I think we've talked about this before, but
you've had
all of a sudden I look over
that.
And you're like 20 feet away from me going, I'm not standing next to you after you just body slammed Mike Tyson by
I'm
accident.
running across the street.
Where were we going to? A Laker game?
I think a Laker game.
That was funny.
Hey, do you mind if I turn the AC on?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Real quick, I'll just read this about piercings and tattoos, and then we'll move on. But in her book, she says, any piercings will provide a potential source of metal toxicity and interfere with energy flows within the body. But those in the midline of the body affecting the central reservoir meridian and the outer eyebrow, the endocrine system meridian, are particularly detrimental. Such piercings should be removed and either discarded or at the very least replaced with plastic for the majority of the time. And then she goes on to say the inks used in tattooing are primarily metal salts, with the red ink being mercury-based, although some are plastic and vegetable dyes. There is no requirement on the manufacturer to disclose the contents of the inks, but all are obviously foreign substances and become permanent because they disable the immune cells that appear at the scene to defend the body from attack.
Wow.
Doesn't that make sense, though? Like,
it makes a lot of sense, because why would the ink bleed or not bleed? You know?
Your body your body knows it's foreign and wants to go in there, but just can't. So, yeah, this whole tattoo thing is, I feel a lot of people don't seem to have any problem with them, and maybe they're stronger in their health, and that's great because I think they look awesome. But personally, at this point, I don't think I'll be getting one.
Yeah,
I'm going to get mercury out of me instead of adding potential toxicity within me.
Do you know anything about the ones that are natural dyes?
Well, I've done a little research, and I've even walked into tattoo places in the last year thinking about trying to find an organic one, and It's tricky business. I don't know what to believe, but I'm on their sites. I'll ask the people what they use, and they say, oh, yeah, they're organic. Well, then you go on, and you're like, organic what?
Right.
It's hard to find, actually, they're right. She's right in that book. They don't have to disclose what it is. And I kind of want to call somebody up, but I still don't trust people. I don't know what's in them. The bottles aren't labeled, It's like...
Yeah.
Or actually, the bottle was labeled. The one that I looked at, it was a specific brand, but it didn't make me feel good. I didn't see anything that didn't look like a number or a letter, and that's kind of freaky to me.
Yeah, when you start seeing, like, when you're
Blue
looking
Lake
at
7.
food, yellow dye 5, it's just...
Yeah.
You don't know what these things are.
No.
I mean, it's one level thing. I mean, I'm sure that tattoos, most people can handle them and they're okay, but it seems just like a burden on your liver, a burden on your body that doesn't need to be there.
One extra. I mean, yeah, especially when you're compromised and people who can get away with it.
So you're reading something online where people were talking about all the ill effects they were having from their tattoos?
Yeah, I remember a couple different sites, but the one I really remember is through, I never know how to say her name, but the Wellness Warrior, Jessica Anskoff, or Ansko. Unfortunately, when she passed away a couple weeks ago, which is a sad, sad story. We almost had her on our show.
Yeah, we almost did.
That would have been a great conversation, but there was something that she had posted, a whole article about tattoos, and then asked people to comment, and that was very eye-opening to me. This is probably read that over a year ago.
Really?
When our friend Bo Wong was out, and we were working on a lot of stuff last year, and she and I were like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to go get a little one to commemorate our projects we're working on and things? And we waited on it. I mean, we were kind of feeling like, oh, let's go be adventurous. Let's be spontaneous. Let's do this thing.
Yeah.
And then we waited like literally a night, and what I found out was from her site was all these people chiming in on their experience with them, and that was enough to make me back off a bit.
Wow.
Yeah, so you guys can probably go search the Wellness Warrior site for her article on tattoos.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, very.
I want to read Michael's email. He wrote in, just listen to this is another one, Kate. You're being called out today.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
You're being called out.
Okay.
Just listen to the Jonathan Tripodi episode about body memory.
Gosh.
You got to listen to that. This really resonated with me so much. I've always had a problem growing up with my stomach. Every couple of years I would wake up and start throwing up. I started this around 13 years of age.
Oh, my gosh.
The only way I was able to stop was going to the emergency room, and they would calm my stomach down with a drip. I had a really bad experience a couple of years ago when I was with an ex of mine. I was in and out of the hospital for a couple of months, and I lost 25 pounds. I then changed my eating, going more and more raw. Never knew what caused it until Jonathan. He told a story on the show about a woman that would throw up every once in a while. He found out that she didn't express her feelings.
Oh, gosh.
And she held her feelings inside until she started throwing up. I've always been like this with my family and friends, not being able to express fully to my family. Can anyone relate to that? I guess I always...
Eyebrows raise.
Yeah. I guess I always thought they wouldn't love me anymore for being gay. Everything is okay now. I did come out to them and realized they love me for me. Still have feelings bottled up, but when I do get upset, I make sure to get it out in the moment. I wanted to thank you so much for this gift of revelation. Yeah, what episode was that? Do you know?
No, because I wasn't here for it. I am getting called out. Dude, the Jonathan Tripodi and the Gary Gordon. Those are two that I was gone at the same place, the same retreat center both times, and I feel so silly. Because I know Jonathan Tripodi. You've mentioned him and referenced him, and I think he's got amazing stuff going. I just need to sit down and listen to the... You know what my problem is?
Tell me.
I'm either recording a podcast or a show, or I'm working, and I can't work on the computer while I listen.
Yeah.
So I have to put them on... Imagine joining the 2015, and putting things on my iPod and being able to go for a walk and listen to them. That's what I need to do.
Yeah. I can understand that because the work that you do is mostly writing for EHR and for the different projects you're doing. And so when you're writing, you can't really listen to something.
Right.
The work that I do involves some writing, but a lot of production work. So I can listen to other stuff, which is how I listen to stuff. Yeah.
You're constantly listening. You can do that somehow. I have a harder time with it, but...
he was episode 229.
229. Awesome.
229. He was really great. I liked him a lot.
I gotta listen to him. Yeah, I resonate with Michael's email about the emotional stuffing and what do you say, like the physical aspect of the emotional connection.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like with our health. And then I also really resonate. I was just talking to you this morning about how I feel like my own family just doesn't get my journey at all. And I've mentioned this before, but they have no idea. I was just telling you this morning, they have no idea what it's like to be like a chronic illness sufferer.
Let's delve into that after the break. You want to do that?
Because I have to pee.
I have to pee too. And also, I'm writing an article on heavy metal detox protocols. So I know you guys were probably listening to what we're talking about before, trying to wonder, I've got all these heavy metals, maybe mercury and cadmium and lead in my body. How do I get rid of them? And so I'm putting together an article about all the different ways that you can start detoxing these heavy metals out. So I just want to let you guys know about that. Kate is going pee right now. I'm going to go pee here after she's done. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we're really excited that you guys are here with us. I appreciate it so much. This is episode 369, and we'll be right back right after this break. Kate and I have had our sauna for about a year now, I'd say, when we first got it from Phil Wilson, and it's an incredible machine. We use ours about every single day. Kate sits in about 20 minutes, and I sit in there about for a half hour. Usually watch a documentary, and it's extremely relaxing. It's really, really incredible machine. And if you go to extremehealthradio.com/sauna, you can learn all about it. We did an entire hour interview with Phil Wilson. You can check that out. You can look at the pictures of us with it. You can watch videos on that page. It helps you to sleep really, really well. You can lose a lot of weight with it. You can burn, I think, around 600 calories in about 20 minutes or so. It improves your skin, increases circulation all over the body, and circulation is critical for your health. You can prevent and reverse diseases with it if you have a cold or flu. It's incredible. It heats you down to the core. It heats 4 to 6 inches inside your body, so it's really incredible. And a lot of people use it for cancer as well. So if you have any kind of incurable, quote, disease, you can use it for that. And Dr. Shade is the foremost authority on detoxification. And listen to what he says about it.
How do I detoxify from plastics? I mean, you guys are using a sauna, and what does a sauna do for us? A sauna is great, but it's moving a number of different toxins. Remember, we talked about the mice that if you put PCBs in there, then that made the mercury all that much worse. And sweating moves out a lot of plastics, volatiles, fat-based toxins. It's really good at moving those out, sweating those out. So that's how you're getting those out, and those are contributing to this synergistic soup inside the body. And so that's why they're good, is they're taking out a bunch of the different things in the soup.
And Daniel Vitalis, one of our favorite guests. What do you have to say about the sauna?
When you go into the sauna, like a far-infrared sauna like you discussed, your body goes into a deep relaxation mode, and your sympathetic nervous system shuts down and your parasympathetic nervous system turns on. And when that's active, that's the nervous system, part of your nervous system that's active when you meditate. That becomes active, and your detoxification pathways open up wide. Why is this important? It's important because when you go running and you sweat, you're not necessarily eliminating very much toxicity from your body. But when you sweat in the sauna, you eliminate a lot of toxicity from your body. So sweating in a relaxed state is how we eliminate. The other thing is that what's wonderful about the sauna is that it puts you in a parasympathetic nervous system response, like as if you were meditating. So it's almost a hack. It's like a trick to get yourself into a meditative, relaxed state, to decompress stress, to reverse the effects of stress, and to get your body eliminating deep, deep toxicity that's stored in your body fat, because it can come out in the oils of your skin. So I think, sauna is one of the most crucial detoxification, really health practices that we could take on, especially in this era of heavy toxicity, particularly fat-soluble toxins.
This sauna is really, really great. They offer payment plans, because if you buy it through PayPal, it's 100% secure. You don't even need a PayPal account. I think you could do a payment plan through PayPal. It's got low EMF electromagnetic fields coming off of it. It's portable, so that means you don't have to knock down a wall in your house. You can just move it from room to room. It sets up in about 2 to 5 minutes. It's super easy to clean. All you got to do is wipe it down when you're done and wipe the neck down. And it produces energy and heat inside very, very evenly throughout the whole machine. All you have to do is sit in there for about 15 minutes a day. And the great thing I like about it too is it requires zero preheating. So you turn it on and you're starting to get warm, and you're starting to detoxify with that far infrared light almost immediately. So it's really great. It comes with a 1-year warranty. It's about $990 plus $25 shipping. And that's really, really a good deal, because if you look at most of the regular saunas out there, they are in the $2,000 to $4,000 range. So this is really, really a good deal. So check it out, extremehealthradio.com/sauna.
100% listener supported. Extreme Health Radio. Opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Don't forget to join our thriving community for health tips, inspiration, and show updates at extremehealthradio.com/Facebook.
All right, well, we just got an email from one of our favorite guests who happens to be listening at the moment, Mr. Adam Bergstrom.
So fun.
Yeah, we love him. We have to have him on again. Adam, if you're listening, we have to have you on again. We'll be in contact soon. How about that?
Love it.
I'm going to put a link in the chat room to the shows that we've done with Adam. And if you guys are not familiar with his work, Mr. Adam Bergstrom,
You should be.
You should be. I would highly recommend listening to all of the shows that we've done with Adam Bergstrom. He's just an incredible guy. Knows so much, but he wrote us an email right now, and he just says, worrying about a tattoo is much worse than having a tattoo. Worry is extremely toxic. Big smiley face. So that is true. So if you have a tattoo, which is most people, a lot of people do have tattoos.
Yeah, I don't want to panic anyone.
Yeah, and don't worry about it. That's the whole thing. Because our mind and our psyche and our spirit, our consciousness, our soul, all of these things are more powerful than the human body. And so leveraging that power over your physical form is always going to be the way to go when it comes to any kind of healing.
I agree.
And I think it's extremely important to be in touch with your own personal power that you have. And there's lots of different ways to do that. There's a unique way I've been doing it lately with subliminal programming, but there's meditation. all kinds of cool stuff that you can do to start stepping into.
That's a really good reminder, Adam. Thank you.
Yeah.
I know. It's like I know that. Knowing what I know, I wouldn't willingly probably, like I said, go out and get one. But worrying about anything that's done, why cry over spilled milk? I mean, it's not going to do anything but harm you on other toxic ways. So what's up with that subliminal programming you've been doing? Oh, just really quickly, the worry has a direct impact on the amount of stomach acid you produce. That's right. Did we hear that from Dr. Massey?
Dr. Massey, yeah. Which cascades into all kinds of different mineral uptake issues and all kinds of stuff with worry. So do your best to not worry. But yeah,
how is it that worry depletes your stomach acid? That is the weirdest thing.
I know, right?
Who would have ever put that together?
Well, Dr. Stephen Hines, a former guest of ours and friend as well, has a protocol for rebuilding your stomach acid. I don't even think a part of the protocol has to do with meditation or not worrying, but he has a whole protocol for rebuilding your stomach acid using hydrochloric acid. Sometimes people do 6 or 7 tablets per meal before they feel any kind of warming effect. And so the goal is to eventually get down to where you need no hydrochloric acid. But as you start to create more, you start uptaking more minerals and things like that. But someone goes into a panic mode and they start worrying a lot, and then all of a sudden they have to start increasing the hydrochloric acid before they feel a burn. So that's
proven people that are really full of anxiety or worry, they burn through a lot more capsules and they need a lot more. They require more.
Yeah, apparently he's done a lot of work with that, where he's measured people's stomach. There's a Heidelberg test that you can do to test your stomach acid.
How do you do that?
It's a.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's a. Well, I forget what it was. I think it's a sort of a capsule that you can actually, those capsules like the, those ones that have the camera on it, and they can determine. So you take a Heidelberg capsule, and then you take baking soda.
Okay.
And it measures your body's response to try to neutralize the baking soda. And so it tests how much stomach acid you're making.
I see.
So there's all kinds of things. I would just not worry. Try not to worry.
Right.
It's a big deal because if you wear out your stomach acid, you're more prone to bacteria, you're more prone to viruses, you're more prone to parasites, these types of things, That's your first line of defense. But the subliminal programming is pretty...
Yeah, you've been all into this. What got you interested in this recently?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. It's just been something I've been really interested in because I feel like all of us have been programmed, whether we like it or not, or know it or not, by our family, friends, our environment growing up. And a lot of our guests have said that before the age of 6 or 7, I'm not sure if it's 6 or 7, but before the age of 6 or 7, you're... basically, the default script you have running in your head for your whole life has been set, unless you do some proactive things to start reprogramming your subconscious mind. And a lot of this times this happens without us even knowing it, right?
Right.
So you're around family members, aunts or uncles that may visit your house. You may overhear arguments from your parents, or you may be at school as a little child, a preschool or something, and you overhear some sort of argument or the teacher saying that you can or can't do things, and maybe you're watching cartoons as a child. So all these things are like affecting our subconscious mind. It's my contention that we believe everything we experience through our 5 senses gets stored eternally in our subconscious mind or brain. Maybe through the Akashic records. I don't know. But somehow we store all this stuff. So
that's insane when you really think about that.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. From being a baby laying in a crib, you have that stuck in there looking at the sea. Like what you were doing hanging out when you're little, you have those feelings and you have those sights and sounds, and you have that all somewhere within your body still. That is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
That's crazy.
Some people even think it goes before you were...
In the womb?
In the womb, yeah, like 6 to 9 months before you were born.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The family constellation kind of stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So I figure, you know what? A lot of times maybe your success in life has a lot to do with your subconscious programming or lack thereof. So I thought, you know what? I want to be successful. Everyone wants to be successful.
Reprogram yourself.
Right? Let's see if this thing works and see what we can do. See if it's just a bunch of hippie woo-woo or if it's actual science behind it, if it actually works. So, I mean, obviously what I'm going to be doing is some testing on myself. So it's not going to be scientific at all. It's just going to be anecdotal. But I thought, why not try? So Dr. Joe Dispenza, former guest, talks about it. Adam Bergstrom talks about it. Dr. Bruce Lipton, the former guest, talks about it. And then finally, we had a straw that broke the camel's back in here in studio recently. What's his name? Steve Maxwell.
I love Steve Maxwell.
And
why did he break the straw?
He was the straw. He was the camel that broke the straw on his own back, or whatever.
I got tripped. Camel straws, cow's milk. What?
You get the idea.
Okay, yeah.
But we're asking about how he deals with jet lag, and one of the things he's talking about was he uses these things called binaural beats, and so he's like a 5th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu, does a lot of ancient Taoist exercise. If you want to hear that show, I'd recommend you check it out. We talked for a couple hours. He was in studio, episode 368, and he talked about ancient Taoist exercises, anti-aging techniques, and these the deer exercise. I know Adam Bergstrom knows all about this kind of stuff, but the deer exercise for men and women. And
I never even heard of that before.
Fascinating guy.
Yeah.
And so he was talking about how he used it. And it's funny how you hear something over the course of years, but it takes 2 or 3 times. It's like the thing where you're doing.
It's like I was just going to say, I read that whole book, knew I had mercury toxicity, and then I kind of just dealt with the chronic fatigue part of it, but forgot all about the mercury part.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Sometimes I think you're not ready for things, even though you feel like, oh, I resonate with that, and one day I'll do it. It just hits you again 6-8 months later, a year later, and you're like, okay, now is the time, right? So I thought, okay, that's cool. So I started doing some researching, and then I remember back in the 80s, there was all this stuff going on with like Quiet Riot and Motley Crue and all these bands in the 80s. Backward masking.
I was not listening. Oh, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
The devil's in the backward masking. If you play this, if you slow it down and play it backwards, you're going to hear worship Satan. Or
jump off a bridge.
Or, and so there was all that. And so I started thinking, okay, there's something to this. Why not use it for good, right? So I'm writing a whole article about how I did this, but you can do this from your own computer, and people are really savvy now. There's software that'll help you do it too. But what I did is I wrote down a bunch of statements, positive affirmation statements, in different areas of my life. So like relationship, family, financial success, health, all kinds of things. And what I did is I just wrote anything that came to mind in the present tense. Like, I am an incredibly patient and loving person. Or, all the things.
I am wildly successful.
Yeah.
Or I am wildly abundant. Or that kind of stuff. Okay.
Okay. Or if you want to make $10,000 a month, I make $10,000 a month. Or I do these things. Or I'm,
I think that is very important to put in the present form.
So I just wrote down as much as I could. I typed it out on the computer. I must have typed in like 50 different things.
That's awesome.
Everything just came, because I would think of different areas of my life that I wanted to change. Then I thought, wow, there's a lot of work I got to do. It's like,
real quick, can I interject on that though? Because I think that's amazing that you had, 50 things sounds like a lot. But then I thought, wow, look at all the lies we buy all day long. Subconsciously, we tell ourselves we're not smart enough, we're stupid, we can't do it, we're broke. I mean, that record plays in our mind all day long. So we should have much more than fit. I mean, I could have 500 and still not be able to crowd out the lies. So you're doing it in a way that you're actually changing your brain chemistry by listening to it?
Yeah. So one of the things I did was, I wrote down everything I could, and I spent a lot of time doing it to try to cover every area of my life. And so I'd think about different sections of my life, like I said, relationship, family, success, abundance, health, all these different things. I just tried to write as many as I possibly could. And I tried to look at, like, if I were looking at my life from above, and I was looking at me like I'm a character in a movie, how would I describe the superhero of that movie? And here he is dealing. I think of what are the best traits and qualities that I could have when dealing with certain situations. So if you think about a certain situation that really irks you, like let's say your mom really, really pushes your buttons. And every time you go to your mom's house, she pushes your buttons. And you're always sitting on the couch or at the dinner table. So you could think about yourself, like close your eyes and imagine yourself sitting at that table. And then if you were watching it like a movie, how would the archetype and the hero of that movie act when your mom does that?
Ooh, I just got chills.
Yeah.
I just got chills when you said that. That's a really unique way to view this.
Because you're kind of doing that whole Eckhart Tolle thing where you're kind of the silent observer, you're a third-party witness of your characteristics and things. And so I wrote down is this as much as I can, and almost like there's a camera crew following you around, and you're the hero of whatever movie, story, or whatever. So I wrote down everything, and then I recorded them into the computer, just like I'm doing now. And you don't have to have all this fancy equipment like we have. You can record from anything because...
Your phone.
Yeah, your phone. You can do it from your phone. That's right.
Because you can leave a lot of... I know people drive around and leave themselves voice, recorded messages. They remember things. So you can do it on that.
You can do it on that.
Okay.
You just be able to... you would just have to be able to get that file off the phone and into the computer where you can edit it. So you basically want to get something like is it GarageBand? Or no, it's Audacity, which is a free editing software, and you can lower the volume on that. And so basically I recorded that, and it took about 5 minutes. It was a 5-minute file. I do a 15-minute meditation every day. And so what I did is I just made 2 more copies of that. So I made that file 3 times as long, so 15 minutes. And then I just put it behind a mantra or a song, a Tibetan sort of chant, and I play that chant all day long while I'm driving, while I'm working, while I'm doing meditation.
And you can't, when I've walked into the office here, I've heard it playing. I can't hear anything. So you can't hear it.
It's so low underneath the music that you can't hear anything.
So do you have it like one level up from 0?
Yeah, it's like when I did a multi-track thing in I keep wanting to say GarageBand.
Audacity.
In Audacity, you can do this too, a multi-track thing. And if you mute the music, you can hear your voice really low. Like you could hear it.
But it's barely.
It's barely. And then once you put the music on top of it, you just can't hear anything. And then you save that as its own separate file, the 2 of those combined together. And then I just play that.
So
who knows? Has it worked? Am I more loving? Am I more, I don't know.
Let's look at your bank account. I'm just kidding.
Am I more abundant? So
no, you are more loving. You are more loving, I think.
I've been doing it for, about a week now?
Yeah.
Since Steve Maxwell left?
You really do seem like you have...
I try.
Yeah, you do. You seem like you've let go of a lot of things in regards to the area we live that we complain about sometimes that's so loud. And you seem to have let a lot of that frustration around that go, I can tell. You really do. You seem more mellow, more zened out.
Thank you.
Now, do you think that has to do with... Is it almost like a frequency? Like when I take those flower essence drops, it's a frequency that they're vibrating at that I'm getting. It doesn't... Do you think that that's what's happening with the voice? Like you don't have to hear the voice as much as just knowing it's underlaid on that track. Is that as subliminally powerful as if you didn't even have the volume turned up at all? I mean, do you know what I mean about the voice in the background? Is that your intention and it's put there?
Yeah, I think there's something to that. Obviously, you can't have it on 0 because there has to be something. So apparently, your body senses, like everything that we're able to pick up is like nowhere near what's actually going on. We can't see all the visible or the frequencies, all the frequencies of light. We can't see all the frequencies of sound or smell. I mean, dogs smell 100 times what we smell. I mean, there's so much going on that we can't sense. And so the idea is that when this stuff's happening in the background, your subconscious mind is picking it all up, even though you can't really hear it.
That is such a bizarre concept to me.
So I don't know.
I'm going to do it. You encouraged me to do it. I'm going to do mine this week.
Is it hippie woo-woo stuff, or does it work?
Yes, and I like it. Well, a lot of the hippie woo-woo stuff does seem to work.
Yeah.
You know what I did? You remember Ina Segal we had on our show?
Yeah.
Man, is she great.
She's awesome.
What is the name of her book? Why am I blanking on the name of her book right now? Can you look it up?
I'll look it up.
But I have her deck. She sent us the nicest. She sent me a book before the show and a deck of her color cards.
The Secret Language of the Body.
Thank you. The Secret Language. That's so good.
Hey, why when you search Ina Segal, INNASEGAL in Google, does it come up as a recommended search Ina Segal death?
What?
The Secrets? No, she didn't die.
What?
She didn't pass on.
Oh my gosh, my heart just
Secret Language of the Body?
sunk. What was that?
I I think she might have had like a near-death experience.
Oh.
Because there says, were you at peace or was it difficult at death? What happened after you died?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
No, I do. In her book, she does talk about that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, Secret Language of the Body. She was cool.
Such a good interview and such a good book, and it's really powerful. But she sent me, which is really cool, a deck of her color cards for color therapy. Mm-hmm. And the point or the idea of it is that you pick a card with your intention, ask what your body needs to know for that day or at that moment or a particular situation, and you pull one, and they've always pretty much been spot on with what I'm going through or what I need at that time. Well, I pulled one the other day. I hadn't done them in a while, and I got this gray, this like graphite type gray color, and it was all about going in and scanning your body, kind of like you were talking about. It was envisioning this gray beam of light going through and scanning the different organs, if you can visualize that in like your mind's eye, and see the areas, become aware of the areas where the problems are settling, and maybe get some clarity to what's going on in those specific situations. And then you go in there and you take this golden ray of light, kind of like when you picture your chakras and stuff, and you send that there instead with this intention. And so, I mean, I read about it. I was trying to do it. I went to bed doing it the other night, and I really did feel like, I mean, it sounds woo, it sounds crazy, it sounds hippie, but there's really some power to that. Like whether you're just looking at a specific color that you're lacking, or you're actually intentionally using that color to try to go in to your tissues and fibers and actually heal up your body. It sounds like the most insane thing ever. I mean, but I really feel like it works to some extent.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Adam Bergstrom just wrote in.
Yeah. Every
time you view a food commercial on TV or see a food advertisement on a billboard and you don't eat, your stomach acid is compromised.
Wait, what?
Isn't that wild?
Every time you see a food commercial on TV or see a food advertisement on a billboard and don't eat, your stomach acid is compromised.
Maybe, I think what he's getting at here is that even just looking at food, your body, because you know how if you put something in your mouth, your body starts to create enzymes, and
before, when you look at the food, you know how your mouth will water, looking at a cupcake or whatever it is you're looking at, you'll start to create the right digestive enzyme.
That used to happen with
the chocolate chip cookie.
Yellow Starbursts.
Oh.
Remember those?
Yeah.
I'd start getting all like my mouth would
lemon
water.
Heads.
Lemons.
Me too. Anything with lemon. Yeah.
So maybe that's what he's talking about, your stomach acid, because it gets...
Interesting.
From what I understand, stomach acid gets created only at the time that you're eating. So like your body doesn't need to create stomach acid if there's no food in your stomach.
Wow.
And so when you look at something, wow, that's crazy.
That is bizarre.
Interesting stuff.
Huh.
So...
Adam would know.
Those color cards are pretty interesting, huh?
Pretty cool, yeah. Color cards. I'm getting into all kinds of weird stuff lately.
I know, right?
What might be considered weird. I don't think it's weird at all.
Like what kind of weird stuff?
Stuff that people probably in my world would think I'm crazy.
Really?
Yeah, like my angel cards that I love. That deck. They're from why am I blanking on her name? See the brain fog. The Mercury's creeping in.
The Mercury.
Doreen Virtue.
I
just think there's some cool stuff. And when I was on my retreat with my friends, my one friend had a deck of cards. They weren't angel cards, but they were like life cards and kind of life path stuff. And we read some stuff and got some insight and journaled about them and went a lot deeper with this emotional kind of spiritual realm. And I just thought it was really cool. To me, it's funny. I grew up in such a family where that kind of stuff was satanic, and you're playing with tarot cards and you're doing this, you're doing that. I view it more as, well, I'm not opening up myself. I believe personally that if you're searching for evil, you're going to find it. And these things seem to be nothing but tools that help me along the road to healing. And I don't feel like I'm not protected, or that God is judging me, or that they're right or they're wrong. I just don't know, but I feel like they add a lot of insight into where I am in life, and they're pretty spot on. And a lot of people would say that's, messy stuff to mess with. And spiritually, I'm sure I've gotten some emails over the past, year and a half of doing this show where somebody will write me, and I got an email from a really nice woman. Actually, it was a handwritten letter about how the Course in Miracles, reading that just basically brought on all this evil stuff. Well,
You're playing with your soul.
I'm not making fun of her, because that's her own journey. But for her, it really, really affected her, apparently, in the past. And she was warning me, but I thought, that is your journey. That's your journey. It's not my journey, and we all have to journey. If I decide I'm going down a path and all of a sudden it freaks me out, or it doesn't, I don't know. But how do you know other than to be honest and say, this is new to me. it seems to be helping me, and then I'll just decide where I go from here. I don't know.
Well, it's like one of the articles you wrote recently where you were talking about choosing to live in a world where there's magic or not.
Right.
And I think you quoted Einstein in that.
I did.
And he was basically just saying you have one of two choices. You can choose to believe in a world where there is magic and
where everything's a miracle or nothing's a miracle.
Yeah. And so
everything's magical or nothing's magical.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. I choose the magic world because to me it's just a lot more fun to look at everything like this magical gift. And I feel like my soul resonates with that place more than this is a place of coincidence. Mm-hmm. Coincidence to me, just I've lived a whole life of like, could that be coincidence? It's either been coincidence or it's been God. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, okay, I feel like God is in more than I could ever imagine, and God is showing up in different ways in the box I put him in. Mm-hmm. So therefore, I am different now. This magical world of seeing how I believe God works in connection with my, you know, my higher spirit, my higher self.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, totally.
I think people get turned off by that word, like your higher self. I'm just really coming to realize that that's just your, you know, people freak out about the word consciousness or higher anything or anything to elevating yourself. I don't feel like it has to do with elevating yourself. I think it has to get with really knowing yourself.
Yeah, knowing who you are and what you're...
Isn't that what we're here for?
Yeah. Hey, real quick question.
Yeah.
Really quick off-the-cuff question. If you were to have all the knowledge in the world about everything, but you had to die in 24 hours, would you do it?
After you knew all the knowledge?
Mm-hmm. So you knew how the pyramids were built, God and all the afterlife stuff, whether it's God or reincarnation or a combination of both, or aliens, how the earth was created, how to eat right for your body,
what the real truth is.
What the real truth is about anything.
What's going on with the government, how everything's run, who runs the world.
Who runs the world, the Illuminati, JFK, 9/11, the beginning of the world. Was it evolution? Was it creation? Was it a combination?
And then you could know it for 24 hours and then you'd have to die?
Was it a, Zechariah Sitchin 12th planet thing where people came from other planets to mine gold for their depleting atmosphere? Was it creation as it is in the Bible? But
does Nibiru exist?
Does Nibiru exist? Who
are these sons of God, sons of man?
Yeah,
they sons of came down and slept with the
daughters of
women?
men?
What in the world in the Bible?
Off-planet beings, other galaxies.
Oh gosh.
What else? Any conspiracy theory you want to know? Sandy Hook. Anything. JFK. Whether or not it past lives or how if we choose our parents. If you could know everything, but you had to die in 24 hours, would you do it?
Oh my gosh. It's
a tough one.
I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
Although everything within me would want to say yes. I would say no because I'd be like, well, I'm here for this time to know what I'm going to know and to journey and to find out what I'm supposed to in this life. So at the end, whether I know it or not after this life, oh well, I guess I won't care as much. But it would be hard because this life is such a blink, and then you're gone anyway.
Right.
So having all that, but I wonder if having that knowledge would either wreck you or completely heal you.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't know.
So,
like, what if you went though? What if you knew it all and you knew how death and eternal life or whatever or whatever's going on really worked? Then you'd either be more afraid to just die just because you have 24 hours now that you know what really happens to you.
And then the light goes black?
Yeah, maybe. I don't think so, but what if that were the truth? And then all of a sudden you're like, crap, I might have had 70 more years and now I have 24 hours. This is how it works. This is a joke. But maybe you'd also be like, oh my gosh, that's how it works. Sign me up. I'm glad I only have 24 hours. This is hell down here.
Well, yeah, because if you had that kind of all knowledge, how would you be able to sort of deal with that?
I don't know.
Like, what if you, let me think about this. Let's see.
Is that like the fruit of, is that like in the Bible, the tree of basically all knowing?
Oh, all knowledge or the fruit of whatever it is. Tree of knowledge. Or a tree of good and evil or something. What if, okay, here's a scenario. What if
You're very creative today.
instead of dying in 24 hours, what if you were given, let's see, if had all knowledge, I'm trying to think about like in terms of money, if someone gave you all the money in the world and then you still had to die.
This is getting weird. So you're saying if someone gave you all the money in the entire world and then you had to die within what, 24 hours?
Let's say you died in a month. Would you do that?
No.
Really?
Nope.
You will get your final affairs in order?
Nope. I'd rather be dirt poor till the day I checked off this planet and love my life. And
but
money means nothing.
But you would have all the knowledge for that month.
So you'd have all the knowledge and all the money?
But you had to die in a month.
No. No. Would you?
No, but it would be so hard. It would be such a hard decision, wouldn't it?
Let me know if you decide you're actually going to do this one day, and I'll take out a life insurance plan before. Just give me ample warning, please. For the
record, this is being recorded. Here you go, insurance company. At an hour 15 minutes in, you can hear Kate's confession.
What boat? What anchor?
I don't know what you're talking about. That would be hard, wouldn't it?
That is seriously a really, really...
Because those are questions that are just so... I mean, you're starting to get in time travel, teleportation, all these things would be so fascinating to know about. I mean, my goodness, there's so much going on the planet. And to have answers to everything would just be so tempting. But I don't know if it would be at the expense of life.
Yeah.
I know, that would be hard.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we always want more life than we have. I wonder if we'd want more of it once we knew what was really going on. Part of me thinks that how people say when they come back from past life or from near-death experiences.
Oh, right.
They just want to be gone. Like, they want to be in that other realm.
Yeah, they don't want to come back.
So, I don't know. I mean, people have died for way less. I mean...
Yeah.
You know, somebody goes to war and the first second on the field they get shot and died, and they're dying for what they think is important.
Right.
I think this stuff is really important, and I think that if you were to know all of the mysteries of the entire world that ever existed, I mean, there'd be nothing more valiant and brave worth dying for. That would be something that I would consider, though, because that would be the only thing that I would probably feel good about dying for.
That'd be so wild, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be so strange.
Thank you, Christina, sweet girl in the chat room.
What'd she say?
She is Evan's wife, and she wrote in. She said, "Thank you both for everything you do. Kate, I love all of the, quote, weird stuff. Going to order the color card soon."
Oh, nice.
That is awesome. It's just so good to know you're not alone. You just feel so... You feel like, I mean, I have a bunch of friends who are kind of slowly following the same road of like, what is this journey all about? We're not afraid so much as we were before. To explore. Doesn't mean we can't rein ourselves back in or even realize things were wrong or not correct and we can change our path at any time. But
I think a lot of people come out of a really deep Christian, especially in this country. If you're some other country, it's going to be Muslim or something else.
Just really deep religious ties.
And it's almost as if they haven't had the ability to sort of think for themselves yet and sort of come up with their own way they want to view life, and if whether or not they want to follow that same thing, it's just sort of expected.
Right.
And so when you start getting into stuff that's like the stuff that we're into, and many people are, it's not just us. I mean, many people are. But when you start getting into stuff like that, there's a lot of fear on their end, and they want to condemn you to hell, and they want to tell you that you're strange or you're weird, you're
off,
Satan's path and all this stuff.
Isn't it funny? Because I have many Christian friends now, though, who are, quote, Christians, but the same thing. Yeah, they're interested in what these cards are all about, or different, really, like energy medicines. They used to think Reiki was just a really spiritual, weird thing, and now they're going to regular Reiki healing sessions, or even had meetings with psychics. It's like... People are more open, and the Christians I'm running across are just not as fearful and afraid of God smiting them anymore, and knowing that they will internally sit with themselves and listen to what is right and what feels right, what feels wrong. And sometimes that's a long path to even figure out, is it your ego or is it what actually is in your soul that's telling you this feels right or wrong? It's a hard path. It's a really challenging journey, but I don't know. It's worth it to me.
I mean, here's an idea that I think is... that Christians would think is very strange, but I think I don't know. Who knows, really? I mean, seriously, who knows?
Who knows?
But there's a lot of ideas like the what is it called? The Hall of Records, not the Hall of Records, but not the Akashic Records, the House of Laos or something like that. But it's basically the idea that like our consciousness and our soul doesn't exist within our body. And so we think that it does. We think that our bodies are the containers for some other, our deep spiritual nature. But the idea is that sort of like the Akashic Records, where everything is recorded and all knowledge is available, sort of like in the cloud, and it's available. And what happens is that when we have an inspiration or a thought, we're tapping into this sort of ether that is existing all around us and all around the universe. And everything that's ever happened, ever will happen, exists in this other dimensional realm. Some people call it the Hall of Records or the Akashic Records, things like that. And when you get an inspiration for something, we think that inspiration gets generated inside of us. But what some people are saying is that this inspiration is looking for a conduit to be birthed. So this information, the time for this information needs to be birthed into the world and take physical form and exist in a way where it can be put in to a medium where people can learn from it.
Oh, interesting.
And so it itself, like the Akashic Records itself, is something that's a living entity kind of. And it wants to birth itself and come in and express itself through human form. It's sort of like when people get inspirations like Tesla or, people just, what's her name? We always reference this, the Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, J.K. Rowling.
J.K. Rowling. She's on a train, and all of a sudden, she gets, like 3 or 4 sentences about a mystery kid who's going to a mystery school, interested in, black magic or whatever. And this whole story gets born through that. And so that's an interesting idea because, the inspiration doesn't necessarily come from us. Maybe that field is God. Who knows? Maybe that's what God is. And so, but asking questions like that and tapping into through meditation and prayer, whatever you want to call it, this type of healing or this type of information, being able to be a conduit through which you can get access to all knowledge, is something that's not really talked about in Christianity. And just talking about
it makes me feel like it's not even not talked about. It's what's even not talked about is looked down upon. Mm-hmm. Because you think we're not supposed to have any knowledge. God has all the knowledge. Like if we had all this knowledge, we'd be evil or bad, or
we would be God. Or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Huh.
So this is the type of stuff that I think it's fun to explore, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with asking questions and trying to understand things and trying to live with your heart and trying to see if some things are maybe all of it's just hippie weird stuff that's not true. That's we all believe, or maybe some of it's true, or maybe all of it's true, or none of it's true. But I don't think there should be any fear in asking questions.
That's what I used to be so afraid of, is just the asking of the questions.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we all are.
I know, right?
Afraid of, really. I'm reading the most awesome book about all that, The Fear Cure, Melissa Rankin's new book.
Nice.
For how much we talk about her, we really need to get her on the show.
We should get her on the show.
She's been so busy, I know, but...
Did that just release? Because maybe we can talk about that book.
We should. It did just release. It's been out not even a month. I think it came out February 24th. Oh, yeah, it's been a month. February 24th.
Let's do that.
That book is amazing for anyone which is pretty much everyone who's ever had fear, or whether rational or irrational, or just been a human. I highly recommend that book to all humans. Any
Western culture, the people are going to be burdened down with fear. That's pretty obvious.
It's a great book. It's just enough scientific, just enough spiritual. I'm halfway through and I'm just like soaking it up.
Really?
It's amazing. I'm going to take it to the beach today and read it because it's so beautiful outside, and
nice.
Hopefully try to finish it. But
by the way, if you guys want to follow us on what is it, Instagram? We're on there.
Instagram.
If you go to Instagram, you'll see us.
It's fun. What do they look under? Extreme Health Radio?
Extreme Health Radio. You'll find us.
I post a lot. It's fun.
It is fun, huh?
Yeah, a bunch of people like our blueberry right now.
We're going to take a little break right now, but have you ever wondered what those little squiggly floaters are in your eye? Mm-hmm. You ever wonder about that?
I do wonder about it, and I feel like we've talked about this before. I want to say it's some kind of parasite thing, but are we going to talk about it when we get back?
Yes, we have a listener question, and
awesome.
He sent us a link, so it should be pretty interesting.
Ooh, okay.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
Right on.
All right, so this is episode 369. If you want to follow us on Instagram, feel free to do that. Also, if you want to get access to the ebook that we are offering on our website right now, Lessons from the Miracle Doctors by John Barron, go ahead and text Get Healthy, GETHELTHY, Get Healthy to 33444. And once you confirm your email address,
That's brand new.
Get access to it. Yeah.
Nice. Look at you. You're adding a lot of new stuff here.
We just set that up yesterday.
Nice.
For someone who doesn't even own a cell phone or know how to text, you can do these things now.
You made me try it out, didn't you?
Yeah, you'll get access to an audio program and an ebook that we have created or have for you. So do that. Text Get Healthy to 33444 if you're listening to this while you're driving. Actually, don't text while you drive.
Oh, gosh,
That's
no.
not good.
No. While you're safely parked and not behind the wheel.
You don't want to crash, and then you're unhealthy.
Yeah.
Then you'll need the book.
But maybe then they'll know all the secrets of the universe.
Maybe. That's
Depends
possible.
on how bad you crash.
All right, so we're going to be right back right after this break. I wanted to tell you about this really powerful and unique product called the Q Laser. Did you know there's over 2,500 peer-reviewed clinical research studies showing the benefits of low-level laser therapy on the body? We had Dr. Larry Lytle on episode 165 talking all about it. Dr. Lytle, what is the Q Laser?
The Q Laser is a light-delivering device, handheld, rechargeable, that is for lay people and professionals that works at the cell level of the body to restore energy. Since the body is all composed of cells and the cells are composed of atoms, it's good for any and everything in the body. It is especially beneficial for injuries. It will reduce swelling and inflammation before your eyes. Literally, you can have a sprained ankle and apply the laser, and within 30 minutes you can see that the swelling in the ankle has been reduced. Since all disease is inflammatory, you can assume that same process is working if you have some type of intestinal problem. We have pictures of using a heat instrument to diagnose the intestinal inflammation. We can show that intestinal inflammation is pretty much gone within 3 minutes using the Q1000 laser. It's the number one tool in your medicine cabinet. I have a saying, never leave home without your laser. I have had 3 serious burns, and each time I had my laser with me, I applied the laser immediately after I had the burn. I never even blistered.
Kate and I don't want to be without ours. We've worked out a special deal with Dr. Lytle for all of our listeners. If you'd like to learn more about how the Q Laser can dramatically improve your health, go to extremehealthradio.com/laser. Did you know that conventional dog food contains antibiotics, herbicides, pesticides, ground up carcasses from roadkill subjected to high heat processing, artificial colors, chemical preservatives, way too many carbohydrates, genetically modified corn syrups, indigestible grains, and a lack of moisture content in the dry kibble? Obviously, this can lead to health conditions like diabetes, itchy skin, teeth and gum problems, liver damage, obesity, behavioral issues, pancreatic problems, and even cancer. That's why we recommend the BARF diet, which is the biologically appropriate raw food diet from Barf World. Their unprocessed raw meats contain bone, organ meats, vitamins, and minerals that are loaded with enzymes. Barf World founder Robert Mueller explains more.
Sure, I don't have to convince you on the damage that's caused by high heat to food. So as a result, we see many skin disorders, a lot of arthritis, obesity, heart disease, cancers. I mean, it's just rampant. The vet clinics are just full of these conditions. And basically a large percentage of the commercial pet food is made up of the human industry leftovers. And the pet food industry makes use of this waste product. And in addition to that, we are subjected to the products coming out of the rendering plants. Garbage in, garbage out. If you feed garbage to your dog, you're going to end up with garbage health. And if you put the right gas in, your engine runs smoother and lasts longer. So if you put the right fuel in the tank, you're going to get the right output. Garbage in, garbage out.
We've seen an immense difference with our dog Maggie being on this diet. Give your dog the gift of health today by going to extremehealthradio.com/barf or go to our store. That's extremehealthradio.com/barf to learn even more.
All free shows, all the time on Extreme Health Radio. opening minds and transforming lives worldwide. Join our community today. Sign up to our email list and instantly get our free gift to you, along with loads of inspirational content and cutting-edge tips to help change your life at extremehealthradio.com/subscribe.
So where were you, Kate? Just taking an insurance policy out on me, or what? Where were you? Where did you duck out to during the break?
That's actually really funny because in the mailbox this morning from yesterday's mail that I didn't pick up, it was a life insurance policy thing.
Really?
Like through AAA.
I should go see if you filled it out.
Well, I tore it in half and threw it in the trash can. Now I think I need to go tape it together.
Oh, my goodness. That's hilarious. Hey, I just want to let you guys know, too, a lot of people think that during the summer months or spring or summer that they can't get the sauna that we ran the commercial for. I have to say the sauna is one of the best things that we have in terms of taking our health to another level. It's portable. It's a relaxed far infrared sauna. It's low, very low EMF. Incredible for sweating and detoxifying heavy metals. I just love it. It's so good. And we use it all summer long too.
When people write me and ask me about my favorite tool, there's many of our favorite tools, but I really don't want to live without that thing. I love it.
I know, it's my favorite thing that we have.
What is the thing that you mentioned that Dr. Massey mentioned that you can do to get you pull some kind of crazy ugly colored sweat toxins out of you that might actually look brown? Mm-hmm. Is that through coconut? What is that? I remember you talking about it earlier in the week.
I think that he did I think they call it a panchakarma thing from Ayurvedic medicine.
Panchakarma.
But he combined it with something else too. It's where David Wolf talks about this, where you fast for almost like a day on coconut oil for many, many hours, and then you do a deep sauna, and you start really pulling those heavy metals and toxins that are fat soluble through your skin. And Dr. Massey takes it up another level where he will take lipospheric glutathione, a couple not tablets, but packets of that from Live On Labs. If you go to extremehealthradio.com/vitamin C, there's a great company with a lipospheric glutathione that you can get. And you take that about 30 to 45 minutes before you get into a sauna like the one we have. And because it penetrates so deep, he
pulls that sludge out of you.
Yeah, he talked about he was sweating and the sweat was brown.
Oh my goodness!
Like he was toweling off, and there's a brown sweat coming off. Oh. It had a brown color to it. I've never done it, but
I wonder if that's what's happening with those ionic foot baths.
Oh yeah.
Whenever I hear the word brown or think about brown coming out of your body, that's what I think of. Interesting.
Ionic foot baths.
That's intense. If I saw that coming out of my sweat, that would trip me out. Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
It'd be awesome though.
Yeah.
Better out than in, right?
Oh my gosh, right?
Man.
So we got an email here from, I think his name's Jason. Let's see. Yeah, Jason. Hey, Justin, I love listening to your show, and the knowledge I'm finding in it is amazing. Thank you so much for the work you are doing. I remember listening to an episode of your show where you wondered what those moving things are in your eyes. I just saw this on Facebook and wanted to share it with you in case you haven't come across any of this information yet. Big love from the UK.
Nice.
So, worldtruth.tv. Let's do a little copy of that. By the way, that's a really cool picture of the of that tree you took at the beach.
You like that?
Dare to be different?
A sideways tree. It was a tree growing out from the cliff. The other trees are lining the cliff straight up and down. That one's growing directly sideways.
That is
out
really
of the side of the cliff.
That is really cool.
Pretty neat, right?
Look at your little walk today. Is this morning?
Mm-hmm. I've done a lot before 6 a.m. today.
Was that the walk you did with Scrappy?
I took a little Scrappy on a walk. Little Maggie's.
Cute.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What time was that?
7.
Wow.
I woke up at the crack of dawn, went and got some blood work done, walked Maggie, ate breakfast, and Instagrammed up the wazoo. I didn't fit the sauna in, but I'm determined.
Yeah,
That's
we'll do
next.
that tonight. Yeah, the sauna, if you guys are interested, just please let me know. I mean, I think it's one of the best tools that you can get for your health journey. I really do, because it's just so many levels. Lowers lactic acid, increases the immune system, I think, by 30 or 40%.
Wow.
Detoxing heavy metals. It's just amazing. I don't know. I love Sleb it. Anyway,
it too.
worldtruth.tv. So what are those moving amoeba things in your eyes anyway?
Adam Bergstrom weighs in on this as well in an email.
Oh, what does he say?
He said when the mind and eyes are relaxed, the mind-brain shuts off the appearance of floating specks and floaters. William H. Bates, ophthalmologist.
Is that Bates, the Bates method
Bates,
guy?
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm going to put this in the chat room.
Interesting.
We'll put a link to this too, if you guys are interested in those little amoeba-looking things.
Yeah, so what'd you find out? What did you watch the video he sent over?
Actually, this is a bit of an article, so I can't read it, and it's got a video in there, so I can't. I'll share the link on this page. Was it 369?
369.
369.
What do you think they are?
I have no idea. Floaters from tension. When the mind and eyes are relaxed, the mind-brain shuts off the appearance of floating specks, floaters. Huh.
The appearance. So does that mean that they're not real?
Thanks, Adam. I don't know. There's an interesting article, or there's an interesting video, it looks like. It's about 4 minutes. Do you ever see those things?
Yeah, I do.
You ever see them where you put like if you put something over your eyes, like for example, if you're laying at the beach or in a park where it's sunny and you put a hat over your, and then you start seeing these things that are like, I see things that are moving. Like
me too.
Like they're not moving from one corner to the next. They're moving like they're squiggly. Like they're.
I feel like I'm looking through a microscope of like amoebas or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're very strange. They remind me of those fireworks we had when we were kids. Let me see. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're like little parasites or something.
Exactly.
Maybe not.
They remind me of those things. Remember 4th of July's growing up before they became illegal here in our area to do them?
California.
Do you remember getting big boxes of fireworks?
Oh, yeah.
And they'd have those little round charcoal-looking things, and you'd light them, and they were worms, and they'd grow.
Those black things.
Yeah. And then they'd float away, and they'd poof. They remind me of those. They remind me of 4th of July worms.
Yeah, don't they? Those black things, and then they kind of just move around like they're little snakes or something.
It was trippy. Snakes. Were they called snakes, maybe? Not worms. They were snakes.
Who knows?
Oh, my goodness.
Are fireworks legal anywhere anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
They're legal like 4 cities that way.
Oh, really?
I think where my sister lives, just in Long Beach. Maybe not Long Beach, but somewhere, they're legal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's weird because you never see anyone around here with fireworks. I mean, for the most part. But that's so strange because fireworks, I mean, when we were kids, everyone would have them. But then, you'd always hear these stories of someone blowing off their hand or their arm or something, I
was at a 4th of July party one time when we were kids, and that happened to one of the girls. She stepped on one of those ones that spun around, those little flowers, they call them.
Oh, really?
Oh, my gosh. And
she stepped on it?
Yes.
How'd she step on it? Because they move.
I know. She was trying to jump out of the way. She had bare feet. We were in the middle of the street, and her dad was a fireman, but that thing, seriously, burrowed into her foot and burnt the heck out of the bottom of her foot. It was horrible.
What happened?
He wrapped her up and took her to the ER. He wrapped up her foot.
You were there?
Oh, yeah. I was a kid. It was horrible.
Oh, my God.
Talk about traumatic, watching your friend. She was my friend. She was a year older than me. And I remember just thinking, seeing her scream and get lit on, stepping on this lit firework was just horrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
No good.
No good.
Don writes in, how much of the turmeric tea do you drink? All of it in one sitting or over a few days or over 1 day? It is 4 cups. I have some boiling.
It is 4 cups.
I love that. That's awesome. The turmeric tea. The turmeric tea, was that the one that I was making where you put the powdered turmeric?
Yes.
With lemon and honey?
I believe so.
Or do you do a turmeric tea? Have you ever done that?
I've never done a boiled turmeric tea, no. But no. I would love to. I've done ginger, where you boil that up and let it just kind of do its thing. But no, I haven't boiled turmeric. I'm not sure what he's referring to. But you were making, either way, you were making this. I think we Instagrammed it, right? What do you put in your turmeric? More of an iced cold tea kind of a thing?
It was just like
a room temp tea.
Boiling water with turmeric, with powdered turmeric.
Okay. How much?
I just did half a teaspoon.
Okay.
And then maybe half a teaspoon of honey and a squeeze of half a lemon or a full lemon.
You stir it all up in there?
You stir it all up and it makes it this really nice, warm, anti-inflammatory tea. I usually just drink about 8 ounces. But how many cups is that? Is that 2 cups? No. 1 cup is 8 ounces, right?
Sure. I think.
Yeah, she says 4 cups. I couldn't drink 4 cups.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Wow.
Try it out. Anti-inflammatory turmeric tea.
Did you just name it that?
Yeah. there you go. Dib Sizzle from iTunes left us a really cool review.
Not C-Bizzle?
I don't know if it's C-Bizzle.
Dib Sizzle.
Dib Sizzle.
Okay.
D-I-B-S-I-Z-Z.
They should be friends.
I know, right?
Or get married.
Here's my wife, D. Bizzle.
The Izzles.
I'm Dib Sizzle.
We just go by the Izzle family.
Yeah, we're the Izzle family.
What did we find out? What did they say?
She says, I'll be honest. First hearing Justin and Kate last year, I thought they were kind of crazy.
Oh,
with some of the ideas they find. I would immediately make an addition, though, that they are crazy. Awesome.
Oh.
Like they're crazy awesome.
That's nice.
Every episode is something new and exciting in health-related news, and they always describe not only how these things relate to my life, but to theirs on a very personal level. Thank you, Justin and Kate, for continuing to expand our knowledge to better our lives and others. That's awesome.
Oh, that's really nice.
From the Izzle family.
The Izzle family.
That's pretty cool.
We seriously should connect them. That'd be hilarious.
Have you ever had anything where...
That's really nice.
Oh, by the way, guys, we would love your iTunes reviews. So,
we would love your iTunes reviews.
It helps us a lot. So if you go to extremehealthradio.com/iTunes, iTunes, it'll open up iTunes for you, and you can leave a review. It takes you 5 seconds. We'd appreciate that a lot. Kate, have you ever had anything where you've started down the path of being into something or someone or some show or some podcast or something, and the first reaction to it is you thought it was crazy, but then as you continue to listen to it, you think it's really cool and you start resonating with it?
Yes. Most everything.
What do you mean?
Most everything in my life I feel like is that way.
Really?
Yeah. I'd say in my adult life, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think everything's different than I thought it was, so almost everything I think about, at least in the last 10, 12 years. I remember the first time, I've mentioned this a lot, but I remember being in our old apartment in the kitchen when you mentioned, hey, there's this alternative way to deal with cancer. You don't have to get treatment. And I thought that was absolutely insane.
Really?
I remember thinking that you've just lost it. I'm like, I don't know what he's drinking, but...
Really?
It's probably the Kool-Aid because he's crazy. And then I thought, oh my gosh, now it's like there's no way to look back. There's no other way for me to look at things anymore. I mean, everything I'm realizing. I look at the Bible different. I look at, my whole belief system different. I look at the way we view death different. I look at the way, we heal different, the way we eat different. Everything that I thought was crazy. I mean... Now it's like, here I am getting ready to, probably do a turpentine protocol and urine therapy. I mean, it does sound nuts. It sounds absolutely crazy. But I think that, like, for example, right now I'm doing this Q1000 laser on myself because it feels so good on my pancreas. My mom fell and thought she broke a couple of her ribs last week. I offer the laser therapy because this thing has helped so many people in our lives. Offered it for pain management and to kind of rush electrons to that site and maybe bring her some relief. And she immediately was like, oh, it's not that bad, and started downplaying her pain that she just built up and said how bad it hurt, Oh, it's not that bad, because she was afraid of the laser. And I thought, why am I not afraid of the laser? Because this is something I would have been afraid of and thought was crazy a couple of years ago. Well, the reason is because I've interviewed Dr. Lytle. I've listened to him explain what the laser does. I've become informed. I've become educated. Knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is power. And that's what it boils down to. That's all it boils down to. So whether, again, I don't know if I'm gathering all the correct knowledge when it comes to like spirituality or things like that, but I do feel a sense of power in the journey and knowledge just from being willing to explore. And to me, I think a lot of things I started out as crazy now make that there's a case made for them. Yeah, there's definitely a case, and I think that's anytime you journey down a path and you start. It's funny people listening to us think that we're kind of crazy, but then if you continue to listen and listen to the people we talk to, a lot of stuff makes sense. Yeah, some of it. I mean, it's all of it is crazy actually when you compare it to whatever became normal in our society. So what became normal is actually, I think, crazy. Yeah, me too. So when you compare the 180 degrees opposite of the cultural norm, we are crazy. Yes.
but it just turns out that the crazy became normal, and the normal is now crazy.
Right.
And so it depends on how you look at it.
It just depends on what you call it.
It's weird. So you would have been afraid of the laser years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I've been fascinated by lasers my whole life.
Have you?
Yeah.
You've been fascinated by all kinds of... at a very young age, you have some interesting interests.
I was a strange kid.
You were, but I liked it. I didn't know you, but I'm sure I liked it.
Yeah.
Hey, we got another message in from Adam.
I love it.
Floating specks may be debris in the eyeball. A cleansing diet improves circulation of blood fluid to and in the eye, can break down floaters and enable them to float out of the eye. Whoa. Eye strain, mental strain, staring, poor diet, sugar, all those can cause floaters. Shifting, central fixation, relaxation can stop the appearance of floaters. Interesting.
Wow. Williams
Bates again.
Yeah, that must be
that is the Bates, I'm sure.
Bates method, yeah.
Interesting. Thanks,
wow.
Adam.
Thanks, Adam. She is so knowledgeable.
We should have just called Adam on the phone and asked him to give us a breakdown on floaters.
I know, right? It's hilarious. That's so great.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is really interesting when you start going down a journey and a path of self-discovery, of awareness, of exploration. Things that seem very strange, but as you continue to open your mind and learn, stuff like that really doesn't seem all that abnormal anymore, especially in the internet world, too, where you're able to listen to shows like this with other crazy people talking like we are. You can sort of develop a community of people that you don't feel alone, because I think a lot of us, we feel like our friends and family have no idea. We think about this all the time. I mean, our friends and family, if they knew what we really believe, they would think we're certified nuts.
Oh, they totally would.
They would think
totally
we're
would.
Yeah, because we both come from sort of conservative Christian background. And so, that flavors a lot of our perceptions about life. But if they were to really listen to our show or to ask us questions about what we think about things,
yeah,
it was so funny.
In for a surprise.
Yeah, it was so funny. Just as an example, just a really rudimentary example, is my dad is just the most amazing person on the planet. I've never met anyone so positive and so supportive in all my life, and so dedicated, and such a great guy. And the other day, I remember that clip that I sent you of Bill O'Reilly from like the late 80s,
yes.
And he just was cussing at the camera. For those who don't know, Bill O'Reilly is a TV reporter for Fox News, which is very conservative, and he was trying to read off the teleprompter, and he was just screaming mad at the guy that was supposed to.
Because it was all messed up, right?
It was all messed up. Probably some kid. It was just like an intern.
Totally.
And he starts cussing at him and all this stuff, and and
he just loses it.
And we're just like, man, what is the news? Is such this propagated thing? Like to me, it wasn't like, oh, conservatives are bad or liberals are better. It's just like, this whole system that we have is just a complete sham.
Totally.
It's a complete, it's just all fake, And so I sent that to my parents, and my dad watched it. And he was saying like, it's typical. It's typical what the left is going to put out there. They're going to want to disparage and discredit people like Bill O'Reilly. It's typical. I've seen this kind of thing before. When good people are doing things, they want to like railroad them and get rid of them and stuff like that. And it was like, it wasn't even like a question about his ethical character at the time. It was just about the left and the right.
Isn't that?
It's just hilarious.
That was really surprising to me.
Yeah.
Because I thought your dad would have been like, "Oh, what an ass!" Like he just cussed out a bunch of people, and it was really horrifying to me when I watched it, because he snaps, like he literally just snaps and loses it.
Yeah,
you've never heard a guy that seems to be so quote Christian or
he's
moral.
He's supposed to be a Christian.
I think so. In the eyes of the public, just lose it and then snap back into like the teleprompter goes, and he's like, going from F you to like, and it was a sunny day in California. It was like, it's such fakery.
Well, he was like, and if you guys would like to watch more of these programs, go to Fox News or whatever.
Oh my god!
And it was like, he just snaps right into this weird kind of.
It was very robotic, very strange.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just fake, and that was my idea. It was like, these guys are just paid. Who knows where they get their money from and what allegiances they have? It's some higher up thing like the Illuminati, or maybe it's just they're beholden to the Fox Corporation. Maybe that's all it is. But these guys are just puppets, And that was my whole idea with this thing was like, hey, here's Bill Riley just losing it. But then it was so funny. My dad just turns into like, I'm sure, what's the name of some popular liberal? I don't know. Some John Doe. Let's say it's John Doe, some popular liberal. And my dad was like, oh, I'm sure they would never do that to John Doe because he's a liberal, and it's a liberal-dominated media, and of course they're going to make Bill O'Reilly, look like bad, look bad, and all this stuff. And it was just so funny. It's like
that just cracked me up when you said that because it's like, well, yeah, it's not making him look bad. He was being an idiot. Like he was being bad. There's no excuse for bad behavior. So it's just funny that your dad is the greatest person I know. But that was a hilarious response.
That was a hilarious response, and I think that like this commenter on iTunes is saying this review so awesome you left that. I think what it comes down to is when you start getting into deeper spiritual issues, because in my opinion, health always leads to spirituality and leads to, that's where it ends up. That's where we're all going. I think that's where it's all headed. Emotional, spiritual, family, all this kind of stuff. And when you get into health like this, it really does lead you in that way, and you start seeing how fake everything is in our society. And we have to sort of move around all these fake things in order to live, like these fake money numbers and fake accolades. How many Twitter followers do you have? Or, it's all this like stuff that's just completely fabricated. And it's a fake, everything we do is like a fake world. And so it starts, when you start opening your mind and getting into health and nutrition, you start seeing, things in a brand new way. And so all of a sudden, past lives don't seem that crazy.
I know.
Maybe they're true, maybe it's not, but it doesn't seem crazy.
It seems possible.
Mm-hmm.
And then when something, I think the seed of possibility weighs in, then I think just the possibility leads to the next phase, which is, okay, maybe that doesn't seem crazy at all anymore.
Yeah.
I think all it has to do is have a little seed of possibility, and then you're like, oh, wow, maybe things are nothing like this.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a fun show.
That was wow, time goes fast.
Time goes by.
Thanks for hanging in with the chat room, guys.
Yeah, it's 1 hour and 50 minutes. And I have to ask the people in the chat room, are you guys able to hear it okay? Does the sound come through okay? Because we have a lot of issues with the sound on the live show. We can get the sound sounding pretty good on our podcast versions, but when it comes to the live show, it's really challenging. And so, is that Evan that said that? It's a little fuzzy. Okay.
I can't see. I have a private message came up, so I can't see underneath. Sorry.
Yeah, so it's really challenging on the live show. So we appreciate you guys hanging on. And if you hang on to the podcast version, you're going to get a much better experience. So, yeah, so we appreciate that. Thanks, Evan. Yeah.
And
but
Christina,
we hear you, and it's all worth it.
You guys
Thank
are
you.
awesome. Oh, thank you, guys.
Well, we do our best to provide information, to provide some kind of hope for people, inspiration. And I'm curious if you guys are going to be interested in trying that subliminal stuff.
I think if people do, could you write into us and tell us if you feel any effects? Like, it's a big experiment. I want to see if anybody actually feels a difference from it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm in the middle of writing an article, so stay tuned out for more articles from me. And Kate, you're going to be blogging. We both have our own separate blogs on the website, so stay tuned for those.
Yes.
Because we can explore issues on a more personal and a deeper level and in a more candid way through our articles. So please pass them on. And another thing I want to let you guys know too is that if you share our show on Facebook, we will read your name out on the air. That's going to be something that we're going to start adding and start doing. So yeah, if you share our show on Facebook, we'll give you a shout out on the air. And I think that would be awesome. We'd appreciate it too.
I want to give a shout out. I love that word.
A little shout out?
I want to give a shout out to my friend so-and-so.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, huh?
Make a shout out, guys.
So what I'm going to do is I'm working on an article about the subliminal music I created.
I want to give you a shout out.
Oh.
I just think you're awesome that you created that.
What?
The subliminal music thing.
Oh.
That you're doing that. I think
Isn't that
that's
weird?
super cool.
Yeah.
It is weird and I love it.
I think there could be something to it.
Yep.
So you can go onto YouTube, download any song you want, and you can download it as an MP3 file, record on your computer, and remember, you don't have to have fancy equipment like we have, but you can just record from your phone or whatever, and add that to the MP3 file that you downloaded from YouTube. You just can't sell it or put it back on YouTube or anything like that.
I see, but you're allowed to use it like that?
Yeah, for you can download it and put it and make it as part of your own meditation or something, and see, and do it for a month and start meditating every day, 15 minutes, and do that.
Why do you think 15? Did you come up with that, or?
I don't know. It just sounds good. Who knows?
We'll go with that.
We'll go with 15.
Okay.
And then play it, as you're going to sleep, or,
I think that I'm going to do mine today. I know exactly what kind of music, my wordless music, and it's important to have probably wordless music, like just music, or some chants or something.
Some chants that are sort of hypnotic.
I'm going to do that and lay on my biomat before bed tonight.
Another thing, too?
What?
Oh, that would be great on the biomat.
Wouldn't it? Oh, that biomat just sends me into orbit. I love it.
Oh, dude, you should totally do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talk about getting in there, like real deep.
Because you really, when you're on the biomat, at least for me, like you get into a theta state, right? I'm not sleeping, but I'm kind of there, but I'm not, right?
Yep.
So that's you want to get your mind into that space. So that's the idea of meditating with it. Mm-hmm. Or doing positive affirmations when you go to sleep or when you wake up in the morning.
Okay.
But that would be a good idea on the biomat.
Well, biomat is my favorite place to spend time praying, meditating, or just piecing out. I can kind of set the intention for whatever it is I want, but at the end of no matter what my intention is going into it, by 20, 30 minutes into it, I come to the same ending, which I'm asleep.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just out. I'm totally out by the end of a biomat session. It's just the best.
Wow.
It's the best. But yeah, I want to try that subliminal message programming with that too.
Yeah, there's programs where you can do it if you go to listen to YouTube. Actually, I'll create a whole article about how to do it and what tools you need, but basically everything's free. You can download the YouTube video for free. You can record something into your phone, transfer that to your computer. That's free, and the audio software that you can use is free as well.
So no one needs to be a recording... what do you call this stuff? Soundboard engineer?
A recording artist?
Yeah, I was going to say recording artist.
Like
I know
Justin
that didn't sound
Bieber.
right. No one needs to be a Bieber.
Yeah, so that would be something to consider. And do it for a month. Do it with your meditation. Do it when you go to bed. And see if you can't change the default languaging pattern of your thought life.
Oh, that is so cool.
That
is so cool.
Instead of thinking thoughts that are fear, that are sort of like a downward spiral, down and in, you can start thinking thoughts that are up and out, and you can start thinking like anything is possible. I can accomplish anything, and you'll hopefully, the goal is, for me, I haven't got there yet, but the goal is to just have the default thoughts that you're running be of a positive nature. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like the plan that you came up with as far as putting them like on the positive spin and in the present as well.
Mm-hmm. And read it
really powerful.
Read it with emotion, with a little bit of emotion behind it.
Yeah, maybe we'll just start believing him.
Yeah.
Without even knowing that what we're doing.
Or it may not work. I don't know. Maybe we're leading you down a path that's not working.
Who knows?
We'll try it. We'll see, right?
Right.
So I want to say, don't forget about the Truth About Cancer Summit. ExtremeHealthRadio.com/truthAboutCancer. That's all free. All the video interviews are going to be free. So please pass that show or that link on to your friends and family who have cancer or are dealing with cancer. ExtremeHealthRadio.com/truthAboutCancer. We'll put a link in the show page. That's going on. I think that starts on Monday.
Does it?
Yeah.
Was that the 30th?
The 30th.
Yep.
On Monday, the 30th of March, 2015. So if you sign up, if you go to that link and put in your name and email, you'll be make sure that, first of all, you'll be able to see all of those episodes because you can't see them unless you're signed up. But then they'll send you reminders so you never miss one.
Oh, that's cool.
And they're up for free for 30 or 24 hours. And then at the end, sometimes they do. If Ty is kind enough, he'll replay everything for free for a day or two. So
that Ty Bollinger, he's a good man.
He's a good seed.
We'll keep him.
Also, don't forget to go over to Patreon, please, and donate $1 or $2 or $5 or $10 or 25 cents or 50 cents, something per episode if you can. We'd appreciate that a lot. I know we've got messages from starving college students saying they can't do it and things like that. But if you did 25 cents per episode, that's $1 a month. That would just be really, really helpful.
Yeah, if all of our listeners do that, we'd be able to get an office.
Yeah,
really.
Some people do $25 per episode, so Whatever you can do, we'd greatly appreciate
We
that.
got $25 an episode?
No, for some people.
Oh gosh.
Some people do that. So,
yeah.
So extremehealthradio.com/support, or if you go over on our website and click on Kate's smiling mug on the right-hand side. That's your mug.
Is that with Maggie licking my mug?
She's trying to.
I know.
But you're not letting her.
No. Remember we got that disparaging comment on Facebook?
About what?
One of our friends shared our Patreon video. Do you remember? And another friend said, well, I'm not going to be watching that. Like, anybody who lets their dog lick their face.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? She was all bent out of shape about it.
Too much mercury in her brain.
Yeah, too much mercury. I'm like, okay, if that's what you care about. Well, how about pick your battles a little.
Yeah, like this is the least thing you should be worried about.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
So if you do go to Patreon, we'd appreciate that, and we have a different things that we will send you and do for you if you sign up. There's levels of support, and you can read about it. There's a great video we created. And also, if you just want to get the lessons from the Miracle Doctors for free, as well as the audio program on how to beat your food addictions, text Get Healthy to 33444. And if you're listening to this 25 years in the future and that doesn't work, try going to extremehealthradio.com. And
or just teleport yourself there and you'll find us.
Yeah, just teleport yourself
25
there.
years from now.
So you can sign up on our website as well. You'll get access to all that stuff. Is that about it?
I think that's it.
Let's see.
It's a beautiful Friday. I'm so excited.
I know. We're going to go to the beach.
We are. We need
for
a break.
Our lunch break. And we got actually on Monday. Did you know we have an interview on Monday?
I saw it was just confirmed.
Soul.
What was it? Something soul medicine. Where is it?
Dr. Dan.
Soul-centered medicine.
Oh, that'll be good.
Doctor who?
Dr. Dan Engel. Soul-centered medicine. That'll be fun.
That's gonna be great.
Wow.
So that's Monday.
So what about the next month in April?
Yeah, are we back to Fridays or?
We have Lance Roll. We're going to be talking
Chef
about
Lance.
bone broth. He's going to come in studio.
Yes.
So we'll see him on Monday the 6th. And then we're getting back to our Friday shows. We're kind of all over the place, aren't we? Mm-hmm. Carol Vandersteep, I think is her name. She does written a book called Mouth Matters.
Mouth Matters?
Yeah, how facial postures control nearly every facet of health.
Whoa, that'll be cool. Just when you think you run out of things to talk about or things you think you have never heard of or things you think you've heard of everything.
I know, right?
Yeah, right.
And Jesse Canone, Natural Pain Relief.
Nice.
He's put together a website called losethebackpain.com.
Yeah, he's the back guy.
We got introduced to him from our friend Andy at the Hill Country Health Store.
Was that who we found out?
Yeah.
Andy.
I didn't even know about Jesse Canone until I saw a lot of his stuff over at Hill Country Health Store.
Wow.
And when we went to our dentist, Dr. Stuart Nunley in Marble Falls. How rad is that?
It pays to travel.
Small world, right?
It pays to talk with people. I think it's so much fun.
I know. This is
Andy,
so cool.
Andy was a wealth of knowledge, that guy.
So we're going to learn about bone broth, soul-centered medicine. Good stuff, dude.
Good stuff.
Mouth
we have
matters.
quite a week coming up. I'm excited.
Yeah, I got to see
quite a
good
month,
stuff.
I should say.
So, is that about it?
I think so, my friend.
Awesome. Okay, so that
It
was
was a lot of fun, you guys.
episode 369.
Yep.
So we'll put links to everything that we talked about at extremehealthradio.com/369. Bam, 2 hours.
Dang. 2 hours and 2 minutes and 44 seconds.
How is that?
Amazing.
Amazing, right?
Well, Maggie's having a conniption fit on the ground.
She's snorting below us now.
She's snorting.
It's really time. All right, everybody. So thank you so much. Please pass the show on to your friends. If you share our shows, we'll do a little shout out for you, and we'll read your name on the air. So please pass the show on to your friends if you can. We'd greatly appreciate it. And what else? Is that it? Are we done?
I think so. I'm going to make a video later on to finally wrap up my juice fasting.
Oh, yes.
So people can find out, but you can also read my blog once it's up later. It'll be up. So
That's right. That's right. We do have, if you guys are interested in, a lot of people listen to our shows on YouTube. So if you want to subscribe on YouTube, we put a lot of stuff that's on YouTube, other videos and stuff that's not podcasts. So if you want to subscribe on there, we'll do a video maybe this weekend or today or something.
I think so.
That'd be cool.
For sure by the weekend.
Hey, guess what time it is?
11:11. Perfect time. Hurry up and end it.
It went to 11:12.
Mine's still 11:11 over here.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much.
And
nice.
we will catch you guys on the next episode.
Hey, everybody. This is Josie, Justin's mum. Don't tell him, but I know he would absolutely be really happy if you would sign up to his free weekly newsletter. And don't forget to share this with all your friends. This is the buzzing bumblebee signing off.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
It's time to go for now, but our mission does not end with this show.
Justin and Kate will be back with another interview packed full of ideas, discoveries, and unique ways to regain your health.
Head on over to extremehealthradio.com/subscribe and instantly download our free gift too that contains cutting-edge strategies to start making healthy lifestyle changes today.
No material on this blog is intended to suggest that you should not seek professional medical care. Always work with qualified medical professionals, even if you educate yourself in the